Good morning, Xbox. Yes, welcome everybody to episode 81. Yes, 81 episodes in, and we've got a great show lined up for you today. Sorry, no intro. Had to redo it and just haven't had a time to get around to tweaking it. So here we are, ready to go. Starting with my panel members, the way you see them on screen, or at least that's the way I think they're coming up on screen. Let me just check the feed over here. Yes, so let's get right back to it. We've got CoolcatTerri in the building. What is happening, girl?
Good morning, everybody. I am ready for another great show, and I hope you guys, had your breakfast, your coffee, whatever you do to get going, and enjoy yourselves today.
Indeed. And someone who always enjoys himself, or it definitely sounds like he's enjoying himself, it's the sharpshooter one himself, Scrub Nurse in the building.
Hey, good morning. Morning, everybody in the chat. It's a good day. Have your coffee. It's the big game Sunday, so it should be fun later on. Glad y'all to have y'all coffee, your juice, whatever you need to get up. Let's talk some games, have some fun.
Right on. It is Pass the Bowl Sunday. So let's pass the bowl over to Axel1324. He is in the building. What's going on, brother?
Hey, good morning. Hey, everything's going great. Happy to be here. Real happy. And just excited for the show, man. I think we got some good topics. Let's get to it.
I definitely do. And the cranky one himself has graced us with his presence. He's rolling. He's doing a roll by. Here he is, Cerebral Paul.
Sure, everybody else gets these nice intros. I always get the cranky one. Now you know why I'm cranky all the time, okay? I'm just,
Yeah, we wouldn't have it any other way, Paul. All right. Just keep that crack hole from across the street. Just keep her out of the picture, okay? No sandwiches this morning. And we know him on Twitter as TKO for good reason, because this man TKOs every single podcast he graces his presence with. The always knowledgeable, smooth talking, fast walking. It is TKO K Asante.
Wow, what a welcome this morning. I am happy to be here. This is awesome. Thank you guys for having me. Usually I'm watching you guys with my morning coffee while my children are like climbing all over me. This time I'm actually on the show. So they're in the other room going, why is Daddy on the screen? It's wonderful to be here. Thank you guys.
Come on now, be realistic. You get up and go, what kind of bullshit is NewfNukem going to be talking about today?
Oh no, seriously, guys. You guys are part of my Sunday ritual, man. It's you guys and then maybe some Ainsley Bowden and some ILP. You guys are part of the ritual. So I appreciate being allowed to be on the screen rather than in the chat saying, yes, sir, keep speaking on it. That's what I appreciate.
It's good to have you here, and that's another fantastic guest. After this show, guys, make sure you catch up with ILP, the Iron Lords podcast. Fantastic group of guys over there. Always. Each and every Sunday. Great way to start your day. That's why I do this one early, so I don't have to overlap with those incredible talents. So let's get into it. Let's catch up with the chat real quick because we got some amazing people in the house bright and early. As always, we've got Doggy Dog 420, and he comes in with the first super chat of the morning. Let's bring that one up on screen. $1.99. Axel, I think you normally do the honors.
Yeah. He says, happy Super Sunday. Football, beer, pizza, wine, farting, beer.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know what that emoji means. To me, it means farting or running or something. Smoke.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna call it. It's Doggy Dog we're talking about here. He probably does mean farting.
Yeah, it probably means smoke.
Speaking of bringing the smoke, one of my best friends in the whole world is in the podcast chat this morning. It is Mr. Seamus Kelly dropping a Canadian $2.79. There you go. Go ahead, Axel.
And Seamus Kelly also says, happy Super Bowl Sunday, Noof and crew. Hey, thank you so much. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to you.
All right.
Who you got, Noof? Who you got?
Well, like I said, I could care less for either team, but I'm going to root for the Eagles.
Okay, yeah, I'm out of here. Gotta go. Sorry, I gotta go.
Gotta root for the Philly Eagles. You know what I mean?
I'm rooting for the Eagles just because I'm a Broncos fan and the Chiefs are a rival, so I cannot root for them. No way. Gotta go for the Eagles.
I'm sorry. If his ankle is healthy, Mahomes is going to put on a hell of a show today. I think he's going to take it.
Well, we'll see.
I hope so. It'll be a close game, I think. High scoring, close game, field goal.
And Terry's just over there going, I'm just going to eat some chips and toy with my car.
I mean, you also have the first Super Bowl with 2 starting black quarterbacks, so that's going to be awesome too during Black History Month. So that's all.
Making history on Black History Month. Hey,
exactly.
And 2 brothers playing against each other for the first time in the Super Bowl.
That's not the first time.
No,
The Manning brothers played against each other first.
Not in the Super Bowl.
Not in the Super Bowl, but still, they played against.
No, in the Super Bowl. That's what I said.
Yeah, for the Super Bowl. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's catch up with some more people in the chat because we got an incredible crew here this morning, including our brother back from the dead's in the building. We got Casket Repair up in here. We've also got Fastback as gracious with our presence. Our good brother Cray Simmons Gaming TV is in the building. Jesse Darby's here as well. What's going on, Jesse? We got You're Wicked Hot. He's hanging out with us as well. We've got Gone Mad. He is Gone Mad each and every Sunday morning. We've also got Eternal Shaddai hanging out with us in the chat. Well, you should be on a panel then, Shaddai. Moron. Crispy Rambo is here with us. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. And who else we got here real quick? I think we just about caught up with everybody. Happy Cloud Gamer. It's in the building. And Jigga J. What's happening? And I think, and Sir X-Man. Yes, there we go. The oldest guy in the room here, I think, is Sir X-Man, at least in the podcast chat. What's going on, Sir X-Man? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for hanging out. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. We got some good topics here this morning. Let's get right into a big one, which has certainly caused a ton of stir for the right reasons, the wrong reasons, and every reason in between. And I'm talking about the Hogwarts Legacy. Now, whether you care for the Harry Potter lore or the the background stories, I'm sure if you're a fan of the movies, you're probably already sort of a going into the game with at least some sort of high hopes. Based on everything I've seen so far, and according to about the couple hours I have played, I would say that those hopes are warranted because this game, I at least think, is absolutely phenomenal. It looks gorgeous. It plays really nice. And like I said, I'm not that far into it, but so far my early impressions are very, very good. So I want to find out how everybody feels about this game. If you think it's warranted already, I'm starting to hear people say this is probably an early contender for Game of the Year. Is it that good? Is it a little overhyped? What do you guys feel about it? Are the long days gone of the old, making movie properties into really terrible video games? Are they kind of behind us? We're starting to see a lot more coming out and swinging for the fences and doing really well. Maybe a game that really, had a couple delays, but definitely warranted because a game that seems like it's pretty well polished so far. So let's find out. And I'm going to start with CoolcatTerri simply because I'm not really sure how she feels about this one. I never really got any swagger from her on this one. I don't know. So, I mean, I know she kind of likes magic and wizardry and all that stuff, I think. So, CoolcatTerri, what's your impressions of Hogwarts Legacy?
Okay, well, it's going to be very short for me because I haven't played it and I have no interest in playing it. It's nothing against the game or anything like that. I mentioned it literally last show that I'm not a fan of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Like, I couldn't care less about anything like that. So it's nothing against, anything else. It's just, it's not my thing. I'm just not into Harry Potter stuff. I mean, I might check it out just for the gameplay at some point down the road, but as of right now, it's not on my radar.
She did keep it quick and sweet. Holy man, we're gonna have to cast a spell on Terry. It's gonna be Crankimus Aronis. Let's cast a spell on this lady, Crankimus Aronis. Yes, because she doesn't like it. She doesn't care for it, but that's okay. CoolcatTerri always got some great game picks, and you can't like everything. That's the way it goes. And I'm glad that we got people on the panel that aren't just like, yeah, okay, whatever. To each their own. So, surrounding the game, though, Terry, I will ask you this: if you can't really talk of the game itself, what do you think the whole controversy sort of stuff around? I mean, we're seeing all sorts of really wacky stuff out there. Like, it's driven some people off the deep end. I mean, to the point where I even saw one person bought the collector's edition of the game just to smash it up, which basically makes no sense.
We live in a political climate right now where people just use words incorrectly all the time, So it's just one of those things where everybody wants that is on that extreme side wants to just hate on stuff without even doing any research into it. And if they actually paid attention to what the game has in it, they'd see that all the things that they're slandering aren't true. They're all the things that they want are actually in the game, but they're not taking the time to pay attention. Mm-hmm. So it's just it's just what happens. People, they get so high in in their beliefs that they won't listen to anybody, and they'll just keep spouting what they hear from other people instead of researching what's going on. And that's where we're at. You just get a lot of very loud people that have zero clue of what's going on.
Yeah, that is true. All right, let's move the needle. Let's shift it over to Scrub Nurse. Scrub, have you played this game? What is your takeaway from it so far?
Oh, you should have skipped me and came back. But, since you came to me, I will give my points. I've not played this game.
Okay.
I've looked at least about 2 hours, maybe almost 3 hours of walkthrough gameplay. My bona fides might be thrown out the window by the time I finish talking. One, I've only seen one Harry Potter movie, and that was Harry Potter adjacent. That was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the first one. Okay. Two, I just don't have anything that just really makes me go, I have to buy this game. Like we talked before the game came out. I said, I'm not really into the Harry Potter universe because, when it first started to come out, I was in college or, when the books came popular. So that was a little something that was behind me. With that being said, I said I'm gonna keep an open mind. I'm gonna watch some gameplay just to see, because there is a point where there's so much FOMO in a game. People will buy games just because they don't want to be left out. And then, they get an hour into it, 2 hours into it. It's not their type of game. And then they end up trashing it. And then you have regret, remorse of the money that you spent and put into a game that was not yours, but you only got it because the hype. Kind of reminds you back in the day when you used to go to KB Toys or Toys R Us and had to get a Nintendo game and you didn't know whether it was good or not because there were no reviews hardly, or the magazine that reviewed it was the publication was behind. You basically picked it up for the cover. Oh, this looks like a cool game, blah, blah, blah. And then you got it home and it ended up being trash. So nothing in the game right now has really made me go, oh, I gotta play this game, especially when you throw in the RPG mechanics, and it might be a game that's going to take me 20, 30, whatever, 40 hours. That's not going to be the game that kind of pulls me in. It looks like fun for the people that enjoy it. I'm glad they're enjoying it, but it's just not a game right now that's just drawing me in.
Sure.
The story looks interesting about you being a kid coming in to Hogwarts and all the different stuff and trying to find out about the trolls or different things. I'm not going to try to spoil anything of what's going on while you're trying to be a student and go through all that stuff. What I do like is how in depth the character creation is, the different things as far as you being in your houses, the connectivity, because like even a lot of people before the game came out, you had the little Wizarding World app and you got to put, depending on your personality traits and all those different things, what house did you belong to? You could even create your own character before the game came out, your own look and different things, what your wand would be. And then once you got the game, that connected together. So different things like that I thought were very fantastic. And I think more games should do those type of things to get the hype going, but also just to get people more interested and connected to that game. So I'm happy for it. I'm glad to see where it goes. The only bad thing unless you're something like one of the biggest games of the year, the beginning of the year, somebody's going to say, this is my game of the year, but 99.9 times out of 10, 3 months from now, you halfway forget it. And then by the time the awards come out, so you have to be a really, really special game to last with that hype the whole year. Isn't that right, Axel?
Yes.
Thinking about last year.
Absolutely. Last year, Elden Ring took that title. So
yeah,
you have to be really special to hold out.
Really special game to pull that out. So we'll see.
Well, Well, I already had one of those people come onto my timeline. As soon as I posted, I had a copy of the game. They came out with some kind of a spoiler. I basically ignored it immediately and blocked the person. I was like, yeah, okay. But anyway,
and it's just proof too, if nothing else, in this one specific genre of gaming, boycotts don't work. And plus, when most of the time you hear this is just another reason to not always listen to people on Twitter, because the percentage of the voices on Twitter or voices online versus the whole mass is like less than 1%. The biggest voices are all those voices. You're like, man, everybody's talking trash about it. When it's time to come out, look how much money this game made. So the boycotts don't work.
Yeah.
Well, boycotts like this, and I posted this on my Twitter, things like this can actually cause the reverse effect of what they want because it puts mind share on the
game.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Yep.
I think there are people went out and picked up stuff just to spite all this stuff.
Well, there's some of that, which is just as bad as the other side, but it did put it in your head, go, oh yeah, that game's coming out. I want to look closer at it, and to look at the coming, to look at the reveal trailers and the later trailers and stuff. If you're at all interested in it, you're like, okay, wow, that looks amazing. And I'll get into my side of it when it's my turn.
Okay.
The big thing is when people hate something, if you hate something, don't talk about it. Just move on. It's still going to be publicity. If everyone's talking about how much they hate this stuff, other people are going to look into it. Like, why do you hate this stuff so much? They're going to look into it, and then they're going to form their own opinion on it. Hopefully they form their own opinion on it and they don't just parrot you. But hopefully, they form their own opinion. And that's what happens. Like, I mean, look at what HBO was. I think it's HBO right now with Velma. Everyone's hating on it, but think about it. They renewed for season 2 because so many people are making videos, reacting and commenting about how terrible it is that they're getting them lots of views. So of course, HBO is going to see, we're getting all these views on this show. Renew for season 2. They're profiting off the haters because haters don't know when to shut up. All right.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yes. Well, let Scrub Nurse go back to making some kids with his magic wand. Prego.
I was like, wow. You were in my bedroom last night? Wow. Okay.
Alrighty. Mr. Axel, don't worry. We got Paul and K Asante's opinions on this next. So we're 2 panel members in outside of myself, which I haven't really talked on yet, but 2 panel members in, and so far neither. This hasn't moved the needle for neither. So I think if I recall, you are a little bit invested into Hogwarts Legacy.
Well, I was never going to get the game day one, as I have too many games right now, but I added it to my beautiful backlog to buy list, which is also massive. But now that I saw the scores, this is before the scores came out, and now that I see the scores and I see my friends playing it, people like Princess Zelda, who's really into Hogwarts and the wizarding world of Harry Potter. The FOMO setting in, Noof. I'm just like you. The FOMO setting in, and I might go get it.
It's hard to fight. It is hard to fight.
It is, especially because I do like the world of Harry Potter, right? I do think it is a magical world, and I do think it's entertaining. And the fact that a lot of Harry Potter fans are saying that, oh, this is the Harry Potter game I've always wanted, this and that and that and this. And it's an original story, nothing to do with the films. It's based more on the IP, which I think leads to much better games than games that try to retell the story or become an interactive movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm looking really forward to it. And the FOMO just keeps creeping up to me. And I'm just like, you know what? I've always really wanted to play Quidditch, like actual Quidditch. You know?
You don't get Quidditch, though. Sorry. No Quidditch.
No Quidditch.
Yeah, I was about to say there's no Quidditch in this game.
What the hell? This game's already an 8 out of 10.
First 5 minutes will tell you no Quidditch. This game.
We had to ruin his hopes right there. He's like,
it's coming. It is
cancel Noof, cancel Paul.
It is coming later, but yeah, for now, no Quidditch.
Spoiled the game for me. They spoiled my hype.
Yeah, that's one of those things where they should just make like a standalone Quidditch game.
I think so, right?
I was about to say it.
And then they could put it in the sports category for the award show, and people can be like, "That's not a good sports game."
that would be awesome.
God, that'd be funny. For best racing game,
best racing.
the fact that you can use the curse spells, you can learn them and use them, and if you get caught, it's game over. All that good stuff. I really enjoy that.
Well, I'll speak to that in a minute. So
expected Quidditch DLC. Yeah, I'll buy it.
Well, don't worry. That's what they're counting on. They're just
they're waiting on guys like me.
Keep the game alive after. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
The thing I love the most about Harry Potter coming out in February is that we had Hi-Fi Rush in January. So already this year is, in my opinion, turning out better than last year for amazing games. Hi-Fi Rush in January, holding it down, starting off the new year right with a Shadow Drop and excellent scores and a fun game. Harry Potter coming in, a game that had a lot of hype and lives up to it. So that's really, really great. And I can't wait to get my hands on it and play it, Noof. I know you're going to post screenshots and stuff, and I know I'm going to watch them, and the FOMO is just going to sit in more and more and more.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll try to keep it to a bare minimum. I'm not the biggest screenshot poster in the world. I get caught up in the gameplay a lot of times and go, darn it, I should have done that. But yeah.
I just took one, and I'll post it later. I just took one, I'll post it later. So.
As far as the controversy is concerned, just like I wasn't, I love Bayonetta, and I wasn't in with the Jen Taylor boycott. I'm not into the Harry Potter boycott. Boycotts are very personal now. They're not really organized as they used to be. They don't really work anymore. So if you want to boycott this game, go for it. I'm not going to down you for it. But at the same time, you're not me and I'm not you, and I'm not going to boycott something that I don't believe is going to make a difference. I'll become active in my own way.
At the end of the day, and someone said it best on another podcast or show the other day, and he said, if you had to stop and basically boycott every product or not purchase every product on the market because, it featured an actor or a talent or a creator or somebody that didn't have, a history or said something wrong or whatever, we wouldn't enjoy anything out there. Okay?
Right.
That's a fact.
You wouldn't be using your phone, your computer.
Right. You can't use your phone to be mad about it.
We know about, right? This stuff that comes out in public, this is shit you know about. But how many people behind the scenes have done far, far worse, said far, far worse, are far, far worse, but nobody knows because they just keep it out of the spotlight. You know what I mean? It's like, that's just the world we live in. It's just the way it goes, and I even read some of the stuff that JK put out there, and honest to God, I just think a lot of it got totally misinterpreted, as it always does. They take something and run with it.
No, she's a complete douchebag. She is, but that has nothing to do with the game.
Big money usually has ignorant takes after, especially when you don't come from money, you don't know how to switch your personal life and your business life. So
yeah. Well, like I said, it is what it is, and at the end of the day, this is the team of Avalanche and Portkey Games, putting their hard work into it. And again, I'm sure she's getting royalties from all this somewhere along the lines, but outside of that, she had no direct involvement in the game, so you shouldn't.
And she probably already did. She based on just when they bought the licensing fee.
Yeah,
she got paid a long time ago.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And it's just like I said, it's a crap storm right at the start, and then it dies down and everything is quickly forgotten, and the
on
world
to the next boycott.
Until the next boycott, yes, and I'm sure there'll be another one coming. Don't worry. All right, let's move down. We'll get CerebralPaul to come in here. Let's acknowledge the chat real quick. We got Rudy the Beauty. He's in the building. What's happening, brother? Good to see you here. Sean is in the building. Good Sean, the old gift master over there himself. What's going on, brother? Ice Queen Gaming is hanging out with us. She's not feeling so well today, but we wish you all the best, Ice Queen. Speaking of people not feeling the best, if you are a listener watching this at some point in time, shout out to our friend Assassin Lupa. So again, we're still praying and rooting for you. So hopefully you make it back to the chat and give us an update at some point in time. Crazy Greek Dude is in the building. What's happening? Our brother Dreadpool is here as well. Apex is here, and so many more. My good friend Seamus Kelly still hanging out with us this morning. Good to see you here, Seamus. And let's move it right along. How about you, Mr. CerebralPaul? I have a feeling I already know the answer, but have you had a chance to dabble your toes into Hogwarts Legacy?
I have 3 days and 8 hours into this game.
Oh, okay.
I just completed the story last night. Well, part of the reason it took so long is I take the time to do the side quests and stuff like that. I don't just, I could have done it a lot quicker going by some of the reviews, but basically they admit they only basically hammered through the main quest so they could get the review out. So, I think the game is absolutely amazing. It looks great. I mean, it's only 77 gig, by the way, and you can. This is one of the first games I've ever turned to ray tracing on and left it. Okay, because it looks that good and it plays that good. The story is very well done. Let's see, you spoke to using the no spells and all that. And if you get caught, game over. No, it's not true because I'm using abracadabra a lot.
You murderer!
Hey, those evil bastard wizards deserve it. I'm just saying, Yeah. But even though they don't have Quidditch, they do have broom flying and flying on the giant birds and stuff. The visuals for that are just jaw-dropping.
Mm-hmm.
This game probably, it may or may not last for Game of the Year, but it does deserve it. It better get some awards because the technology behind it is just wow. It is a shoot and loot. In other words, you're changing your gear every 3 minutes. That's just the way it is. Which can get kind of annoying because if you don't bother to go and change your, if you don't transmute what you're wearing, you look like a homeless wizard because it's all mismatched stuff. It's like, really?
Like Haggard?
So like Paul,
it's just, go ahead.
You said you've finished the game.
Yes.
Okay, so you've got that, and there's a lot of hours in this game, apparently, even if you stick to sort of the main quest lines, correct?
The main quest line takes you about 32 to 34 hours, from what I understand.
Okay, so that's pretty expansive. So what do you feel? I mean, obviously it borrows from a lot of other games, but it does a lot of things on its own. I mean, we don't see a whole lot of games either that are based around sort of wizardry per se. A lot of other games are more, sword slashing and parry maneuvers and and guns and stuff like that. So what do you feel they really nailed with this game outside of the visual aspect? The visuals look great. If you look at the character models, or some of the best character models in a game outside of the stuff that basically Naughty Dog has been doing. So what do you feel they're really nailing? And one thing, the fact that you finished it tells me a lot, because I know you, like I said, you're notorious for the first guy to speak out about accessibility in games. So how did they nail it from that aspect?
I was going to speak to that too.
But go for it now.
For the most part, it does very well. It has the 3 different colorblind modes, which is good. It has story mode to hard, and I started it on normal, the default for the game.
Mm-hmm.
But the fights get so busy where you have like 4 or 5, 6 people coming at you that I switched it to easy for like probably 90% of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The final boss fight, I actually had to switch to story because there was no way in hell. Even on easy, I was beating that boss. And so, and what it is it turns into the way the spells work. You have 4 up at any one time. So if you want to use any of the different spells, you either have to set it up a certain way, or you have to do a lot of switching on the fly.
All right.
And that's hard for me to do just because my hands don't work that well.
Mm-hmm.
And the flying, I will never get the fly for the they have flight tests and stuff, so you can upgrade your broom and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do those parts. It's twin stick flying, the right stick for up and down and the left stick for left and right, and then trigger to accelerate, left trigger to give it a boost. I can't do all that. So the flying aspect to me is not accessible for me. They should do that better. I have one quest I cannot complete. It is somehow bugged. That I'm hoping that it's not going to affect my ability to. Because even if you finish the main storyline, I still haven't finished taking my owls. Which, if you're a Harry Potter fan, that's the end of the year test. They are outside of the main storyline. So, but I find the game totally intriguing. I really do. I think the story is put together well. All the different side quests, some of them are kind of repetitive, but some of them are really kind of neat. And they do have, of course, there's hundreds of things to collect that you have to do to get certain things, and it's like that part for me, even like with Assassin's Creed, gets a little old. It's like, okay, where is this stuff? It's somewhere in this area. I gotta find it, and some of it's easier to find than others. But that's to be expected in a game like this. The grind, as they say.
Right, right. Well, like I said, the first 2 hours I played were pretty captivating. It definitely ropes you in a good way. They even though it starts out slower as most games always do, it's the way that they did it.
I love the way they started out, though. It was mostly telling you the story of how you got where you're at.
Exactly, but kind of acquainting you with the game in the process, right?
Right. It's a tutorial without being a tutorial, which I prefer.
Yeah,
I don't like left right. You're actually advancing the story by learning the controls at the same time, at least the basic controls.
Yeah, and giving you clever little things to figure out the next spell and stuff like that. Yep. So yeah, it's very well done.
Yep, and some of the puzzles and stuff are just really cool to watch. It's really cool to try to figure out. They have some really great mechanics in this game.
Yes, and the character design, again, some of the clever characters and the charming characters. And speaking of characters, again, the naysayers, the people complaining about the game, like I said, our good friend Assassin Lupa, or sorry, not Assassin Lupa, but Ashen Luca, like she puts out there, like, this game's got transvestites in there. I think you've got. I think there's like gay characters.
Well, not transvestite. You have a trans character.
Transgender. Sorry, that's the word. Yeah, transgender character. Hey man,
say get that right.
Yeah, get that right, Noof. I don't know, all bleeds in, but anyway, you get it. There's lots of representation here all over the board, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you definitely can't say that it just lacks any type of diversity. Plus, you get to create your own character, which is always good too.
It does. So, in fact, funny. They just right as you said that. I just completed one of the quests, and one of the characters ended up in a wheelchair. This is the first time I've seen of anybody in a wheelchair. I'm actually thinking of doing a write up and speaking of that too.
That's cool.
All these kids in the school, and there's no representation. Like all wizards are just perfect little humans, and it's like, stop that. It's
right. So Ricky Berwick was in there?
Wow.
I can see Ricky Berwick showing up as like a mod or something. What do you call it? Is it with Oh man, he's a hilarious guy. Well, that's cool. That's good to know. And I gotta ask, did you stream this game?
I did not. I kept thinking about it, but it's like, since I don't tend to have mods on when I stream, I didn't want to deal with it.
Okay.
Because a lot of streamers did get hate just because they were streaming it. Some guy actually put out a app that you could scan your Twitch and find out if anybody you follow streamed it for the purposes of unfollowing them and whatever.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a lot of effort.
A lot. I've seen some reviews that don't even talk about the game. They just talk about the drama and why you shouldn't play it. Okay, that's not a review. That's an editorial.
Exactly. Yeah, I saw this one that people talk about from Wired where they gave it like 1. I mean, come on, man. Even if you're not into this game, like a 1, that's terrible. That means the game is almost non-functional. I think we're long past that. I can understand.
And he used terms like and he used terms like the game seems mid. In other words, you didn't play the game. You're just reacting to the political
the
side.
The game seems mid doesn't say like a 1 out of 10 score though.
Yeah.
That's not mid. What? What's a high for you then? 5? Like, no, my God. So terrible. It's brutal. It's brutal. But I'm glad the game is rising above the backlash.
Official list.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right. So we got some good favorable feedback coming down the pipe. I got a funny feeling that this man has played it. I could be wrong though. K Asante.
You've been wrong most of the morning, so
yeah, I have been. This is not a good one. So let's not go for the Super Bowl prediction then. Yes.
So okay. I have thoughts, so, ladies and gentlemen. So strap in. This will be interesting.
Strap in.
Okay. So I will first and foremost start by telling y'all how I came into this game, because yes, I have played it. How I came into this game, much like Star Wars, I feel like there are militant fans, and then there are fair weather fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, definitely.
And I am a fair weather fan. Like, I've read one of the books, the first book. I expect I'll probably read a lot more of the books because my daughter is getting of that age. I saw it when it first came out. It was very YA, for those who know. So I've seen the movies, but it's not something I'm like seeking out or something. But if I see it on HBO or something, I might watch it or something. I've seen them all, so it is what it is. Like Star Wars, and the reason why I make that comparison is I think that the franchise, the Wizarding World franchise, kind of stuck to that formula where they had the family, the Skywalkers, if you will, in this case, Harry Potter. And then at some point they recognized that the IP had grown beyond them. Maybe the kids got older, when he started growing hair on his face, you really couldn't use him anymore. So they started to grow beyond that IP. Right, they started growing beyond the characters that right, going beyond the Skywalkers, right? And I think one of the panel members said that I think it was Scrubners. I'm not sure if it was you saying that your first interaction with actually watching the medium was Fantastic Beasts, right? Am I mistaken?
That's right. Yeah.
And in my opinion, that is like the worst way to get into that thing, because it's like they've grown beyond the thing that made them popular, and they've been trying to keep it alive. But those Fantastic Beasts movies are just not it. They just have not really connected, right? So in the Star Wars analogy, to me, they were looking for their Rogue One moment. Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Yeah,
right. They were looking for where it grows beyond the characters that and came into it with, but it's building the world and all of this, right? I love Rogue One. I love like the Bad Batch. I love like Mandalorian. I'm Filoni-verse all day. So that's just me. So that's what brings me into this. So I saw this. I heard all the drama, and we'll get into the drama as well. But I saw this and I thought, okay, that's interesting. And I started, looking at the controversy and all of this, right? The game itself is far beyond any of the controversy that it has been levied on it. And I actually would say, and my co-host, Mr. Everborn Saga, we go back and forth about it. We have been since this game came out. I think this is a game that people who don't like Harry Potter, and actually that's another thing. See how Axel called it Harry Potter? It has nothing to do with Harry Potter. Right. He's not even alive yet. Like, it's just so far. But because of the way that IP has been stitched to those characters, it's hard to break that away, right? People who don't like this world specifically need to play it, because I think you give it 5, 10, 15 minutes and you'll be like, okay. It comes with baggage that's unwarranted, in my humble opinion. Okay, so I started playing this, and I was like, I'm still Mr. I am paying $70 for most games unless you can justify it to me. So I found it on sale on PC for $40. So I played it on PC, and we'll get into all the nitty gritties. But on PC, the build isn't that great. So eventually, I ended up double dipping and buying it on Xbox. Also used my Xbox points there, so I didn't have to pay $70 for it. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. The game is fantastic, right? It's fantastic. In my opinion, the drama around it kind of dulls some of the valid critique that could be had, the valid conversation that should be and could be had around it. But here comes my unpopular opinion. I believe this whole thing was a big psyops. Like, it's a feature, not a bug. The whole idea of the controversy has worked hook, line, and sinker. They got me. They got most of us, right? Hook, line, and sinker to get you to pay attention, as Paul was saying. Right. Like, it's almost like they did it on purpose. They got up in the morning. I said that's their Jerry Springer moment. They got up in the morning. They put on their tie and they went, so we think Kotaku won't like it. We think this people won't like it. We won't give them codes. Let's start some smack this morning, right? They knew there'd be some drama around this, so they kind of leaned in on it. So that means if you don't pay attention, now you do, because, oh my God, there's so much drama. But then when you look at it, the substance of the actual thing in a vacuum, it is excellent. Like, they were saying, we were talking about the character creator. They don't have that many characters to create, right? It's they give you a small amount. It's not really broad, but what they give you there is far more than I've seen in most places. And those who follow me know I'm very vocal about that. I'm looking at you there, Square Enix. Like, it's never a good thing whenever, most of the time, those people that tend to look like me get to just deal with the fact that we will never be represented correctly, whether it's our hair or the way we talk or whatever. Like, it's always, there's always a wash somewhere. In this instance, it's like they looked around and went, they're going to look at us, so please make sure you represent correctly. And that's across the board. I don't care who you are. If you see yourself in there, you are respected beyond any game I've ever seen. Now, when it comes to the black people and the black hair and all that, I think the only one that does it better is probably Horizon Forbidden West, which is funny enough. That's the only one that does it better. Only one. But it is to be commended for what they put in here. And the reason why I say it's a psyops is because, you know, the drama that people have equated to it, when you actually then look, you will see that every character that you claim is problematic or the whole situation is problematic, they have spent extra time to make you look good, to represent you right. I don't care who you are. The first 10, 15 minutes of gameplay I'm in a Ugandan character. I'm a stickler for language. I'm a stickler for accents. Like, I love movies and this and that. Get at me. I loved Black Panther, hated the accents. They're all terrible, absolutely terrible. And I'm African.
Oh, so well, yeah, of course. Yeah. There's
so
not that many Africans in it.
They represent, in this game, they represent these characters so well, like unusually well. I'm just like, how they actually hired somebody who actually knows how to do what they're doing to do this thing, which usually for us is just kind of like, yeah, you know, we take what we can get. We're happy to at least be in the room. But this time, they actually spent some time and really, really did it right. Okay, now,
which makes good sense, because at least in a video game, unless you're being the voice and the image actor, like, you know, you should kind of nail voices, because you can literally get, you know, people from every ethnicity that actually speak the native tongue, right?
Exactly. I always wonder why it is that they can't do that, and there's always yada yada reasons.
Money.
Well. You know,
but we don't need Troy. We don't need Troy Baker and the other fellow to do like 90% of the voices in games. You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing.
Exactly. You know, so and I won't get too far into the ridiculousness that people are having, because as you guys have all eloquently pointed, if you have a real issue, like an actual honest issue with the where the IP comes from, that's a valid concern. As Paul has said, I have read some of her stuff as well, and some can be misinterpreted, but she's also leaning into it. So she's a bit of a bag. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? But she is not in the writer's room here. If you're upset that she collected the check, be upset, because she collected that check a long time ago. Like, a long time ago. This has nothing to do with that. And if you are genuinely upset, do not drive a Volkswagen, you Nazi. Do not have an iPhone, you horrible human. Do not be on Twitter, you misogynist. You know, that's just the way it goes. So all those disingenuous arguments are like meaningless. I'll give you like a quick example. Forspoken came out. People are like, oh, it's a bad game, this, that, and the third. Like, to me, every time Square Enix comes out and they show somebody that looks like me, they have something to say, and usually that thing they have to say isn't good. Like, I'm looking at you, Barry. Right. You know, shucking and jiving, blockheaded. You know, every time Square Enix speaks, I'm angry. You don't see me on the front lines with my picket sign going, if you play this game, you're a horrible human. No, I'll just throw tomatoes at my screen every time Barrett speaks. But we'll keep it moving because I'm a gamer, right? Forspoken, same way. 5 minutes in, I'm like, nope, I'm not playing this game, you know, because it's like the game is beautiful, whatever, but they're swearing, all of the ridiculous tropes that you would not expect in this day and age is literally levied 5 minutes into the game, right? So if there are pitchforks to be grabbed, mine's right off screen. But still, you know, it's a game. You take what you can, you leave what you don't like, right? So everyone can come to this to the subject matter with their own biases or thoughts on it, right? I'm just hoping that people like put that aside if you choose to try this, and just try it for what it's worth, because I believe that this is their Rogue One moment with this IP, where they've disassociated themselves from what you may or may not know or like, and they're just giving you like a world to explore, and the systems upon systems, the what do you call it, the combat systems, all of that is so well done, right? So well done.
Yeah.
And again, to the point of the psyops, that it's part of it. I bet like somewhere WB's like, this is what we're gonna do because it's gonna really make this game shine, and they were absolutely right. To Terry's point, Velma. Do you know that Velma had more views the first week than The Last of Us? Yeah. And everyone hates it. It had more views than The Last of Us, right? Yeah,
the
this
writing
is what happens.
Is horrible. Yeah,
it's exactly. And this is what they do, right? So they purposely it's part of the marketing budget at this point. Well, how can we start some smack to get the wheels turning, get people talking? Right. You know what I mean? I'm just happy that beyond all the ridiculousness around it, when you check the actual subject matter, it's a strong game that I think anybody who's a gamer who likes RPGs, if you're not an RPG person, if you're not a person who's into like those adventure type situations, you might not like this, and that's a fair to be levied. But the drama should not stop you, because the game itself transcends all that drama. It really does for me. On the point of critique, before I hand it off, I will say there are some critiques to be levied. Like I played it on PC, and on PC specifically with NVIDIA cards, it's trash. Like it's I am running at 144 frames per second 1 minute, 10 frames another minute. Like it's just ridiculous. Yeah. And even on Xbox, and then I'm like, okay, fine. I switched to the Series X. Even on the Series X with ray tracing, I'm playing. I have a VRR capable machine, so it should a screen, so it should smooth things out. I do still get hitches. If you're in the castle, you're good. The minute you go from inside the castle to outside the castle, it's like, it's but it's WB.
But see, even doing that, I haven't noticed anything that makes me want to go, oh, this is crap.
Sure.
Or anyway.
I'm a bit more of a pixel peeper, maybe. So that may be my issue. That just may be me, which is fine, But it's WB, right?
There is a bit of a pop-in, though. The pop-ins are annoying, but
that's a problem. Yes, that's a problem. Absolutely. Load times are a bit of a concern, but it's not terrible. I hear that the late game gets a bit repetitive, but my point on the psyops is all those valid critiques don't really get much airtime, because either you love it because it's great and you're sticking it to the weirdos who don't, or you hate it and anybody who's playing it is a horrible human. And I honestly think that's neither where we should be with.
And that's I was going to say that's my problem with the critiques. It's always it's not about the critiques themselves. It's about how dare they come on and say, well, you don't support us if you support this game. You're anti-Semitic if you support this game. I'm like,
then anytime you play any Square Enix game, I should have every right to walk up to you and smack you in the face because you're a horrible racist. Is that what we're talking about here? If I see you with an iPhone, I should believe that you appreciate folks dying for your tech. Is that what we're talking about here? If I see you on Twitter, I see you on Twitter, that means you're a misogynist, because that's what Twitter's all about. So that's what you are, right? Ridiculous. It's all that is ridiculous water under a bridge that we shouldn't even be paying attention to because it's nuts. But
absolutely,
when those things happen, it tends to get more eyeballs on the thing, and more often than not, that thing then lets you down. In this case, that thing will not let you down. It's actually pretty darn good. So there you go with it. I am 5 hours in. I've played it on PC. I've rolled the character on PC and I've rolled the character on Xbox, and I'm going to continue playing it. I think it's wonderful. I really enjoyed this game.
To me, it reminds me of the Tom Cruise thing, right? Because I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. I love his movies. But as far as Tom Cruise, the personal actor, and the crap that surrounds him, I could care less. I don't know Tom Cruise from a hole in the ground, right? I don't give a shit.
The hole in the ground is taller. Oh, I'm sorry.
Probably.
All I will say to you, Newf, just don't let your sister go date Tom Cruise. That's it. Watch his movies. don't let your sister. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Like people were like Michael Jackson. I'm like, I don't know anything about Michael Jackson. I just will not let him babysit my children, but I love his music. We'll keep it moving.
Love Michael Jackson's music.
You know what I'm saying? No? There's no need for anything beyond all of that. Yes. But again, those who are, offended, those who have issues, like you heard me, whenever Final Fantasy VII is brought up, I'm just like, do you see the hair on that shucking and jiving? What are we, the 70s? Like, I have issues. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy your game. Like you can absolutely do so. And if you don't stand with me, does not mean you don't stand with every African American or Black person in the world. That's just ridiculous. So that's me.
That's it. That's it, K Asante. If they keep on botching it, they're just gonna have to make everybody bald. That's it, right? You can't do a bald head, then you can't do nothing.
No, that's the problem. They're so lazy. All they do is afros or bald heads.
Man,
not
and you know
texture
what?
At all.
If Sucker Punch can make a game that is so good and so authentic that even the Japanese culture and the Japanese people will give us a low bow in respect, y'all can do a bit more with the hair. Y'all can do a bit more with the language.
Fucking, go over and spend a day at least. Call up, call up Guerrilla Games and go spend a day with them and see how they at least do the hair tech, right?
And Unreal Engine 5 is out here now. It is as turnkey as template put on head.
That's right.
At this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there are no excuses. I'm just using the hair as an example, but it's just like I have noticed this, and this is just my square. I don't want anyone to stand on it with me. Whenever Square Enix releases a game that has someone that looks like me, chances are it's not going to go well for that person, or it's not going to be the best representation of who.
No, I agree with you. So I'll die on that hill too. I mean, it's the truth, though.
Well, I gotta say, shout out to Star Wars because they represented me and Paul ages ago. First of all, they got Jabba the Hutt right, and they also did R2D2.
Stop it!
God.
Stop it! Yeah, I just think people are taking it too far, and as such, the publishers are leaning in and getting you to spend all your money. But in this case, I think it's a great game. I think even if you know nothing about the wizarding world, none of that. Just as a gamer, you will enjoy yourself. I think if you tend to like.
I've also said that if this game wasn't wrapped around Hogwarts, it would still be a great game.
Yeah.
If they just did a wizarding game that wasn't wrapped around that world, it would still be great. It wouldn't get the headlines that it gets, but it would still be a great game.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. They need to release some patches soon on PC and on console. Oh boy, they need them. That critique is valid. I hear the late game needs to be a bit more diverse. Okay, and by diverse I mean it gets repetitive in combat and all of that. Hey, it is what it is, and hopefully that people stick to to those critiques and they hear it. But by and large, I think it's a great game. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm just going to end on the sentiment and say, yes, I'm enjoying it so far. I have no regrets about it. Like I said, a great game. I don't mind paying good money for. It's one of those games I probably could have held out for as well. I intended to originally, but I hadn't given in and bought in a lot of the other games that some of you guys and gals have been out and bought. Like I didn't buy the Dead Space remake. I didn't buy Callisto Protocol. I didn't buy Forspoken. So right there, that's in Canadian dollars. That's $240 saved right there up in Canada, those 3 games alone. Like I said, because I'm not a Game Pass subscriber, because my time is very limited. My time is more limited than my money, right? That's the big problem. So I have to be very selective of what games I really want to play. And I deemed this one high enough on my list that I said I got to go in. Because I'm not really a survival horror game guy, to be honest. So that's why like Dead Space and Callisto is not like pushing a needle for me. They're the kind of games sure I will buy, but the last time I spent like a full $80 on a survival horror game was Resident Evil 8, right? Because I like the Resident Evil franchise. They're a little bit different for me. But outside of that, it takes a lot to go get me to drop coin on certain genres again. Forspoken, I was tempted, but then I read some of the reviews, saw some of the videos, and I went, yeah, like I want it. It's on my radar, but it's not at this point. I've deemed it it's not worth my $80. I'm from the people I've talked to. That's what I'm getting.
Definitely not worth $80.
It's a good
Definitely
game,
not worth.
But it's not worth full price. Is what I'm hearing.
Wait for that sale because it'll be good. Because once that sale's in there, then they'll also have worked some of those technical bugs out, and it might be a better experience for you. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely interested, but again, and everybody's different, right? And to each their own with that. What you deem is worth your full price. It's what like lots of people drop full price on Nintendo games at the blink of an eye. I have to be selective with those two, right? So it's just the way it is. Let's move the needle and let's move along. Let's catch up with the chat real quick, and we're going to bring in CoolcatTerri. We got Sean in the chat. We got General Spartan hanging out with us this morning. Freddie Fox is in the building. What's going on? Casket Repair, our Rob. We got Jason Max, who always comes in and says, just remember, Xbox is number one. number one in his heart. M. Gene is here as well. Flammy's dropped by. Going to be on the Flamish experience a little later on in today. Hopefully you guys will drop over and check that out. And we got JB Cash and many, many more. So thank you guys for hanging out with us this morning. We've got 32 amazing people watching the show live. If you're unable to catch the show live, make sure you hit the like, comment, and subscribe, even if it's just a negative comment. I appreciate the feedback, the good or the bad. Can't improve if we just keep running the same course. So please share this out and show some love and all that good stuff. I greatly appreciate it. The whole panel appreciates it, by the way. So it's always good. All right, so let's get over to CoolcatTerri. She's got another indie spotlight.
All right, everyone. So this time around, I'm going to show you an action-adventure platformer that is in the Metroid style, because I know a lot of people are into that Metroid stuff. So this one's for you guys.
I like this song. It's pretty good. All right, so we got Chasm. This is a $20 game. It's available on all platforms, so you can go and play it, on your Switch if you want it on the go, your PC, or Xbox, PlayStation, wherever you want to play it. And pretty much the concept of the game is you are basically a brand new recruit for the kingdom. You're trying to prove yourself as like a newly appointed knight, and you find out that there's this rumor that the mining town, there's this very important mine that is essential to the kingdom that has been shut down. And so you gotta go investigate why this mine is shut down. You go and find out that all the townspeople are missing. So now you gotta go and try to solve the mystery and save the townspeople to get the mine going again. This game, it has a pretty good, decent combat in it. It is challenging, and it does rely a lot on precision. So it's not going to be for everybody, but so it's up to you if that's kind of your thing. The storyline will be the same for all players. However, the actual format of how the game is going to play out is going to be different for every person. The game is going to randomly generate basically rooms in the game. So your whole playthrough will look nothing like anybody else's because you're going to have your own set of maps to go through. So you won't be able to watch someone's playthrough and follow them. I think yours is going to be different. So go ahead and enjoy that. I mean, it's going to, with it generating the different maps, it's a good and a bad because you'll have some really amazing ones, but because it's just randomly generated, sometimes it's not going to make much sense of how am I going to this from this, But it's a good time. Enjoy it, and it's definitely a decent little indie game that is pretty well done.
Looks like another gem. Great artwork
Terry,
and lots
I
of
will quickly say, great pick. I played that on my Vita. Love that game. I love that game. I played that for so many, like a long time ago. I actually need to buy that again. As soon as you brought
it came out in 2018. Yeah.
Yes, I need to put that. I want to put that on the Steam Deck. That game is awesome. I love that game. Great pick. Yeah.
Yeah, she finds some real good gems, some old, some new, and everything in between. So fantastic. Check it out. Good. Chasm. Get it for your favorite console of choice. Awesome. All right, let's move right along, shall we? And this I don't know. I don't even know if I should touch this topic because I think this one could take us a long time this morning. But the topic is essentially, in the past couple episodes, we kind of talked about report card grades for Xbox and stuff like that, and we talked about some of the games we're most anticipating. But I kind of wanted to know from you on the panel is kind of what would you really like to see from Xbox moving forward? I'm talking about today, tomorrow, this year, but just what areas of the gaming space right now do you feel that Xbox needs to really pick it up in? What would you like to see from them? Because we obviously know that like Sony is killing it with the story-based narrative, third-person action adventure kind of things. Xbox is definitely killing it, I think, from a diversity standpoint. Their portfolio is just all over the place between racers and action. But again, we're still lacking sort of outside of Hi-Fi Rush, which is getting lots of praise this year, which is fantastic because it came out of nowhere. But, what are they missing? It's like what we're talking about, how like, and what I mean by that as well, is like you hear the constant banter of, well, Xbox is only Forza, Gears, and Halo. They need more than that. Well, I think we're getting a lot more than that. But even in terms of the old franchises, those three alone, Forza looks like it's going to set a new precedent this year, I think. Gears is kind of heading back in the right direction, at least with 5, is from the fans I talked to, and being a huge Gears head myself. I believe so, but is there more they can do? Halo obviously is kind of getting a restructure, at least it seems that way. So what do you each of you expect from Xbox? What would you like to see more of in terms of an old franchise kind of getting a remake or a revamp, or some new moving forward? Where do they need to fill those voids and those holes, or do they have it? We just haven't seen it yet. For example, the story-based narrative, we could definitely say that is coming with Hellblade 2, right? That's the kind of game that should, by all purposes, be a system seller, a graphical powerhouse, a showcase. I would expect nothing less from Ninja Theory, who I think are one of the most talented, and certainly from a visual perspective on the Xbox platform. So I expect good things there from them, and we're gonna mix it up a little bit. And I'm gonna start with Axel this morning. Axel, what do you want from Xbox in the grand scheme of things? You're walking into the boardroom right now and you're laying it down.
I think that if you're going to have these games that are 10-year games, a lot of games are turning that, especially with Xbox. Xbox has a strong games as a service history, with their multiplayer, with reasons for you to subscribe to. Back in the day was Xbox Live. Now it's Game Pass. I really want to see some story DLC like we did with Hivebusters. Like Hivebusters was a surprise hit DLC for me, right? And I would love to see Halo get that type of story DLC. We see, Forza and Forza Horizon, especially get the Hot Wheels DLC, and then there's a second DLC coming up. It gives you reasons to pick up the same game, but keep experiencing it. As far as the new IPs that have come out, obviously, I'm into the Elder Scrolls. I'm really enjoying the free DLC that they unlocked for everybody. That's great. Their Bethesda titles, Hi-Fi Rush. Who wouldn't love to see a DLC for Hi-Fi Rush, or side stories to Hi-Fi Rush, and kind of go this whole multimedia route with Hi-Fi Rush? Get a Netflix cartoon going, or and maybe I don't know, a comic book or something. If you gotta, this whole idea of franchises being games only nowadays is really not working anymore. You definitely have to expand into other media, and you have to do it successfully. Halo, the TV show, I enjoyed it for what it was, but it was lackluster in its execution, especially the ending. I was very dissatisfied with the ending, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why Master Chief was such an emotional little girl. You know, nothing like that in this story. I accepted it for what it was, and it was a non-canon TV show. But man, when they went non-canon, they went non-canon, right? So you really have to. Xbox really needs to kind of expand their franchises to attract new audiences. You know, when Master Chief is known as the guy from Fortnite, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You know,
that just had to do with the fact that, I mean, you know, that's like, you know, the singer who, you know, everybody said, you know, that Yeezy gave him a break, and it was like, who was it? Fucking Paul McCartney or something. I mean, that's just an age thing, dude. That's
right. But the young audience, you know, like my nephew has zero interest in playing Halo. And I do mean zero. And he plays Xbox every day. And he loves his Twitch shooters. He loves his Call of Duty. He loves his Fortnite. He loves all of that. But the one game I can't get him into is Halo, because it just doesn't have the modes that young audiences are migrating to. You know, someone like me, a older Halo guy that grew up with the arena shooter, that was great for my time. That was what was hot when we were young. You know, Doom did it, GoldenEye did it, Halo did it, CS:GO. Well, back then it was just called Counter-Strike. It wasn't called CS:GO. It was just called CS, Quake. But the arena shooter has been replaced by battle royales and hero shooters. And Halo just needs to modify. Screw the purists. I'm sorry to say, but like the purists are my age. And when you look at people who play games my age versus people who are playing games my nephew's age, they outnumber us 3, 4, 5 to 1. You got to go for the money, you know? Right. And so Halo needs to change. Everybody talks about how Halo would be better for Battle Royale. And for a long, long time, I resisted it. And then I played Halo Infinite. And I was like, man, this game would be so amazing at Battle Royale. Just look at how much you can move, how fast you can move, all this stuff. It would be amazing. Do some pelican drops on people. It's just, it would change the game in a way we haven't seen in a long, long time, in a positive way. And so Xbox moving forward, I think, needs to stop listening to the old grumpy people like myself, right? The old purists. Yeah, they're your core, but your core is only getting older, which means that your core is only getting diminished, and you got to move on. That's all I'm saying. And as much as someone like me will scratch and claw, like, no, it's supposed to be an arena shooter. You know what? I'm not going to say no to a Halo Battle Royale. I wouldn't. I'd probably play it a lot more. So, yeah, I think, and as I said, they need to expand into other things. You know, like when Cuphead came out, I know it's not an Xbox IP, but when Cuphead came out, and then the Cuphead Netflix cartoon came out, and then the Delicious Last Course came out, and then the season 2 of the cartoon came out. That's awesome for Cuphead fans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just imagine that with any other franchise.
No, you raised some great points there, Axel. You know, and I'm definitely one of the fossils that keep fighting for the old ways, as you say. But you know, it is part of it. And I talked to this about my boss too. You know, it's marketing these days is bigger than ever, and it's not all about the old traditional way of sitting in front of a TV anymore and watching your traditional ads. Kids spend a lot of time on their phones. They spend a lot of time watching YouTube and social media platforms, and they're hanging out on Twitch. And that's where it's at. That's why they're all spending so much money now to get influencers, because they're making bigger strides and pushing more people into certain things than anybody else. I mean, there's a reason why, you know, Fortnite's not the best game on the planet by any means, but it's one of the popular ones, and that's why everybody chooses to stream it, because again, it's what brings in the revenue. It brings eyes to the prize. You know. And Master Chief, you know, his identity is a little off, because again, between the long delays in between games, and then also you got the fact that he's in so many products now. I mean, he's a cultural icon. You know, I mean, the guy's got his own toy line. He's got, you know, he's in Mega Bloks. I mean, maybe some kids know Master Chief from Mega Bloks. You know, not everybody remembers him from Halo 1, 2, and 3 and whatever. Somebody also brought up a good point on social media. They're done. I think it had to do with Counter-Strike Go. The game's still going, still has millions of players. And somebody made the point is why? Because the game didn't stray away from its formula. It just kind of stayed the same. And I think that's where Halo, and I brought this up in a pod, whether you guys disagree with me or not, I think that's the problem with Halo is it tried to reinvent itself every freaking game, especially from a multiplayer perspective. They just couldn't leave well enough alone. They kept trying to cater to this crowd and that crowd and this crowd. Maybe a battle royale is right for the thing, but at the end of the day, like, yeah, sometimes you have to adapt, but you still have to keep your core values in place. Otherwise, you start losing and segregating your audiences from the stuff that they loved. I mean, I do currently like the shape that Halo Infinite is in, but that's the point now. Now that I think if you got to decide on what you're going to go with and stick to it, sure, you can add some weapons and you can tweak the maps, but you can't fundamentally, because look, go back and play any Halo game. Do they not feel different from 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on? They feel vastly different.
Exactly.
Call of Duty feels the same. Doesn't matter which Call of Duty. You can pick up Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. You can pick up Modern Warfare, and it feels pretty much the same.
Tell us how you really feel there. Yeah.
I don't believe that one, but yeah.
World War II game.
That's subjective.
I'm slow. I guess it's
subjective
conversation
I've ever
I
heard.
find Call of Duty stuck to its formula more so than any other franchise.
No, Titanfall came out, then they come with jump packs. We're gonna have boots on the ground. Now we're flying in the air. We're a World War II shooter, and now we're gonna go 100 years into the future.
Okay, well that's the setting, but the mechanics still scrubbed. The mechanics felt the same.
They changed their time to kill, and different. They change it every year. When enough fans complain about it, they change every year. I promise you. From somebody who plays everyone and plays it ranked as well as just online every week, they change it every game. Call of Duty is exactly like Halo. If you're going to use the example, they change it every time. They both do the same exact thing,
and it feels fresh every time.
Yes, but they missed the mark as well multiple times, where the fact that they will change in the middle of a season, in the middle of that game year, they will completely put something in and completely take it out because it didn't work well. So Call of Duty's all over. That's why people are so bipolar when it comes to which game is the best versus another one, because it changes so much. Because one, you got different studios as well doing it. For Halo, you've only had 2 studios doing it. So yeah, for you to change that much, then you will question it more. Why would you? But yeah, with Call of Duty, it's all over the place. They just have great shooting mechanics, so it feels good even when they do all the changes.
Well, fair enough.
Okay.
All right, let's bring in we'll go in the backwards order. So we're bringing CerebralPaul. Paul, what would you like to see really from Xbox? Where do you feel they need to pick it up category wise, or improve certain games that might be kind of just missing the boat a little bit?
I am not the right person for this topic because I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't sit there and go, here, they need to do this better. God, they need to do that better. I'm happy with what I get at my age. I'm happy if I see it. A lot of the games I'm looking forward to, I'll be lucky to be alive by the time they come out. It's my real view on things. So,
So maybe they should come up with a first-person shooter and call it Wheelchair Renegades. What do you think?
That's it. Yeah, that would work. Yeah. No, seriously, I don't sit there. I'm an outlier, but I don't sit there and go, oh man, they really need to get VR. No, they don't. They need to wait and see what happens with Sony's VR. Let Sony be the test case for that stuff. Because I would like to see VR, but I'm not going to sit there and say, they got to have it now. They have to answer Sony, because no, they don't. They need to keep doing what they're doing. Games wise, there are certain things that aren't Xbox exclusives that I'd like to see more of. I'd like to see another Red Dead Redemption. I'd like to see more of that story being told. Remember me, I'm the one who doesn't break down from first person to third person, because I don't care. If it's a good game, it's a good game. If it's an indie, it's an indie. If it's great, it's great. If it's not, it's I really don't give a shit. That's a word. Just it's the way I am. It's the way I'm made. That I don't sit there and go, Xbox has no games, man. They failed us last year because they didn't release any first person stuff. Again, it doesn't doesn't affect me one way or the other.
But you definitely are in the minority, I think, from when it speaks for a lot of
because I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at it in that myopic of a way to sit there and go, they're still giving us great stuff, even if it is third party. Give the first party stuff time. Well, they bought these studios 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Yeah, 1.5 of those years was in COVID, so stop it. Okay, they told us straight up when that all started that this was going to cause delays. I'm happy. Am I kind of sad that Starfield keeps getting put off? Yes. Am I going to yell at them about it? That's not going to accomplish anything. I'll be happy when the game comes out.
Well, I'm going to stick to my old mantra, man. It's shit or get off the pot. When you got some studios out there that can pump up multiple games and other guys just keep coming up with excuses, then after a while I can only take so long.
But there's different things you got to look at that too. What are they pumping out? How much of it is, Starfield is bigger, badder, and it's not a cut.
Well, I said this before. If you're biting off more than you can chew, stop biting. That's the bottom line. These companies got to stop going for the freaking moon. We don't need the universe. Just make us a good game. We don't need 1,000 planets if you can't explore the whole thing. If you got to render them all and it's taking you 5 fucking years, then maybe somebody needs to pull back the reins here.
But see, when I'm sorry, I've said it before. When you're speaking like that, you're not understanding the technology that goes behind it, and they're trying to make it work. I mean, so hey, what the hell? Let them do their thing.
Well, we'll see.
It may not be your style of game either. I mean,
No, it should be fine. I like Bethesda's games for the most part.
But, and the whole 1,000 planets thing, most of them aren't going to be, you're just going to basically do flybys or check for, resources, just like every other damn Bethesda game. So whatever. It is what it is. Nothing we do or say is going to change when a game comes out or anything like that. And, some games, I mean, I'm more worried about, like I said, even though Terry's been playing it, I'm looking forward to that what's it called, the Skull and Bones game, and then to hear that it may not come out till next year, and this is the 6th delay. That has more issue with me than some of the other stuff.
Okay. Perfect. Well, let's bring in K Asante on this one, and then we'll move over to Scrub and finish up with Terry here. K Asante, what does Xbox need to bring, in your opinion? Or do you kind of like Paul, you could really care less? I get the feeling otherwise, though, that you definitely got a few points of interest that if you were walking into Microsoft's boardroom to say, you know what, these things here might help raise your portfolio a little bit.
So okay, I guess I'm kind of a little bit with Paul, and I'm also a little bit with those who have wants. I'm kind of in the middle a little bit. I was like, for instance, people talk about Hi-Fi Rush. I want a different genre. Give me it was great. I want more. I'm a musician at heart. I love that game. I'm going to play that game for years to come. Give me more genres. Give me more genres of music in that. But I'm not really specific to one franchise or one game or one IP. I like a lot of people give Microsoft flack about, they don't have an identity. Oh, this platform is this kind of gamer. They do the third person narrative or whatever. I like the fact that Xbox doesn't have that. They are diversity for diversity's sake. They are, with the Game Pass model and the Netflix of games and all that. I like the fact that, you go to that box and you can have crazy experiences from all different walks of the gaming life, as it were. So to me, that is great, right? And I'm a technologist, so I kind of know a lot of the stuff that goes on in the background. So I too am kind of like, yeah, it sucks as a gamer that you don't get what you want when you want it, but there are reasons for it, and you don't want it today because it probably won't be to your liking if you get it today. Let them do what they got to do and finish it up properly for you. If I have critique, if I have something that I want them to do, it's consistency. more than anything else, right? That's all I want. I want consistency, and that's not last year's problem. That's not this year's problem. That is from now till 2030 something. I want consistency, right? Some folks complain about marketing, right? I too have given them some slack about marketing in the past, but even I am wrong in that, because how many unusual hits have they had recently, right? Hi-Fi Rush comes with zero marketing and just kind of smacks everybody in the face with it, and it's amazing. And before then, it was High on Life that came and smacked everybody in the face, and they were completely gobsmacked by it. And before that, it was Vampire Survivor. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do not see it on billboards like your traditional model, but we're old. These grays are real. We expect that stuff, right? But for somehow, some way, they're not doing that, and they're still succeeding, right? They're still knocking it out of the park. So maybe it's just us old guys with our get off my lawn mentality. You know, I'm going to recognize that and say, you know, that may not be what they really need. To me, it's simply consistency, right? I was one, and this is a very unpopular opinion, I was one that appreciated the whole, what you're about to see now is for 12 months, right?
No, I love that too. I love that.
Yep.
I
was all
about
that. I was all about that. Yep.
Yeah.
I like that myself.
I'm among good company. I appreciated that because that gave me a consistent outlook of what I'm seeing, right? That means, hey, I'm at E3. I expect to see what I'm going to see for the next 12 months. Then you throw in these awesome dev directs, which I think that's the perfect way of release of showing off other things. Some folks are a little worried that maybe we won't be getting things that are beyond the 12 months or moonshots, if you call them, something that they're showing you code names and all that. That can all be dropped in later in the frame as well, right? I would be so happy to know that every year, if I'm going to E3, I'm expecting 12 months of what we're seeing, right? And after that, there will be peppered dev direct shows showing me either a Starfield-like deep dive on one, or a few of them with some drops, and or, hey, this is a future-looking game, and keep consistent with that cadence. That's all I care about. You know, some days a game will get delayed. This happens, people. Like, game making is harder and harder all the time, right? The level of complexity that goes in the background is just too much. So the fact that they're able to release something and make it quality,
brother. That's like, right. I yell at these guys all the time, man.
Like Hi-Fi Rush was. People are surprised at how good Hi-Fi Rush and quality Hi-Fi Rush is. You know why it's so good? Because nobody was pressuring them. There was nobody going, when's the game coming out? Why isn't it out yet? Where's the trailer? Where's the CGI trailer? Where's the game? No, they literally were allowed to finish and put pen down and go, okay, we're ready now, before you even heard about it, right? Well, okay, we heard about it because the Grubster leaked it, but we didn't even see it until they were ready to show it to us, right? And you know, some people like it, some people don't. Some people have all manners of opinions, and that's fine. But what you can't complain about is its quality. That game has been out since when? Has there even been a patch? No, because it's perfect from day one, right? Quality game. They wanted to tell what they wanted to tell. The story is great, you know, and that is consistency, right? So I just hope that moving forward, they see what's happening here and give us more consistency. If you're not going to be traditional marketing model, you know, some people are saying we want to see a Super Bowl ad. We saw one with the controller that they released, which I thought was super cool, right? But we don't have to see that traditional model all the time. You know, they don't have to be on billboards. They don't have to be in subways like God of War and the rest of them are. That works for them, but somehow these are the games that are coming out that we don't necessarily hear about are still smashing records left and right without that traditional marketing model. So, you know, to me, the $2, sometimes $3 trillion company knows what they're doing. I just need them to do more of it in a consistent fashion, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, I can agree.
Yeah, that's
okay. Well, since you're in agreement, Sir Scrub, how do you feel about where Microsoft is at and what you would like to see them bring to the table? And what do you think in terms of Gears, Halo, and Forza? Are they still in good hands?
Okay. Well, just to piggyback on what K Asante said with the marketing, it's a different world. So all you have to do is have a good product, and you don't need the marketing that you really think you do. The old ways of marketing, it's just the old ways of marketing. You end up just wasting money when you can still get that same word out. Case in point, have anybody ever heard of a little electric car startup named Tesla? They don't have marketing. You don't see any commercials on Tesla. People buy Teslas because of word of mouth, and then they actually get a chance to drive in a Tesla. And then the more Tesla sells, the more Tesla sells. Okay. So, but you see these different other car manufacturers spending billions of dollars every year to tell you about their new F-150 that you already knew about, and you kind of heard, or they're going to put a new one out every 2 or 3 years, change the model up or whatever. But then somebody else can save all that money that they're using for marketing to better their own self. So, yes, you can have the billboards. Yes, you can have the Super Bowl commercials. Yes, you can have the double-decker buses covered when your next game drops. That is good and fine. But nowadays, some of the best marketing is you're sitting on Instagram or a Twitter timeline, and somebody goes, "Ooh, these new baseball hats that you like with your team," and then all they need you to do is click the link, and then there's a chance for you to buy. That's not as much as what you cost you to be on a commercial. So the targeted ads, I think, works a lot. Word of mouth. I mean, every day we're doing advertisement for a plastic box when we do a podcast. So, I mean, and they're not paying us anything. I mean, they're paying me. I don't know about you guys, but they're making
we need
money.
To talk in the DMs there, good sir. We need to talk. All right.
We can definitely do that. So they're making their money, and they're doing what they need to do just by doing that. So the one thing I would say as far as, what is something Xbox is, I wouldn't even say lacking, but something that I would like to see that they need to be racked. It's just a fighting game. Right. Even if you said, all right, we're just gonna upgrade the Killer Instinct. There's a lot of people saying it, but the trick is, if they do a Killer Instinct in the same art style that they had before, yes, you got a lot of old heads are going back and thinking on nostalgia. Will they actually play it? That's going to be the real question. Obviously, they're looking at something, because after all the years, after all these people, these influencers who have asked for Killer Instinct, they still haven't done it. So to me, that kind of tells me where that sits as far as 1 and 8, possibly.
Scrub Nurse, I will say, as recently as a week ago, certain people in the community who tend to be right about things say that what you're asking for is still in the works. So I'm just kind of holding out hope for that one.
I really hope so, because I've been hearing it too, and but it's been so many years. But if they do it, and it drops, fine. Because me, I'm not even if I go, where's my tier of fighting? I'm not with the killer combos and stuff with Killer Instinct, because I am a button masher aficionado. So sometimes me and the combos just not gonna work. So I just like to beat them up. So as far as what they need to do for it, look, you have all these different studios that have been purchased. Some of them have multiple studios or multiple department subsets in that one studio working on games. There's a lot of stuff we don't know about. So instead of me saying they need to bring out this game or try this game or try this story game, I would like to show me what you got for the next 12 months. Because you can have, we have these 15 studios doing these 20 games, and you could tell me about it, and some of them might never show up, or they might be 7 years down the way. Show me the 12 months, and then give me a little teaser. Give me a by the way at the end of it, and drop me a little teaser, something, or just something that might be 2 years down the way. But give me that 12-month show, so I'll know what's going on. I'll know what to look for this year, instead of having the next 3 years asking for this one game. Is it going to come out this year? I was waiting to see for it, and then I'm disappointed because this one game that you announced 3 years ago, I didn't see it at E3, or I didn't see it at this. You put in your 12 months, throw in the direct where, like K Asante said, have you some deep dives in there. there are so many times these execs are doing interviews or something. You can do an interview where you can drop, this is where we plan on going for our next game, or we got something to announce special on such and such game, and then it drops on Twitter or whatever else, and then you have a, because there's other companies that doing it now. They're dropping their little teaser trailer for their game or for their movie, and then Twitter is on fire for the next day or two. And I think you can get that same momentum, that same talk, just like if you were waiting for E3 or something like that to do the same thing. I like to know what's coming now instead of everybody on YouTube or where they're doing a speculation and who was right or who guessed this or I heard, and then it's nothing but a bunch of lies because everybody's just making up stuff. So give me short, concise, what you know for sure. Do that and keep the people happy, because what have we had that most people have complained about the last multiple years? Wait till next E3. Wait till next E3. If you just do the next 12 months, you'll knock a lot of that next E3. If you do the 12 months and bring something that gets the people happy, you'll knock out wait till next E3 real quick. So I'm pretty much happy because I'm looking to see where they're planning for this one. So yeah, like Axel was saying, where's Fable? Where's Hellblade 2? Everwild. And then the next year or two you hear Everwild has been, they're going to restart it, and then Hellblade, yeah, they have announced it, and then you go, look, everybody, for E3, here's Iceland. We took videos from Iceland. That's all we have to say goodbye. Nobody cares about all of that stuff. 12 months and that's it. So yeah, that's what I got.
All right, there you go. How about you, Terry? If you were walking into the Microsoft boardrooms right now and laying down the smack, where would you like to see them head? Are they doing really good in your books, or is there just some areas that you feel like they're really missing the boat on?
Okay, for me, I like what they're doing, but I feel that I would like to see Xbox do more of what Hazelight Studio is doing. They do a great job with, co-op games that are story focused and have, an emotional response, where no one else is doing that. Whenever people do co-op, they focus on gameplay, and the story is usually lackluster at best. It's all about the gameplay. I want to see more co-op games that have a phenomenal story, and you can have that emotional impact playing with a friend like you do when you play a game from Hazelight. So that I want to see more of that. I also want to see, because I like racing games, I would like to see Xbox come up with another racing IP. They're only focused on their Forza franchise, and then for racing, we pretty much have to rely on third-party games or indie. I want to see them come up with another franchise that can get away from Forza and give us something else. Because I think about like going back, growing up and playing like racing games. There was like a plethora of franchises to choose from. There's always new IPs all the time. Back in the PS1 days, and now you have like your top franchises that keep getting additions made to them, and and then that's pretty much it outside of like the indie scene, dropping stuff. So like I wanted something new and fresh, and I'm tired of everything being track oriented or street racing oriented. I like those games, but that's all people think that's all racing is you got to either have illegal street racing or you have to, be, on some kind of like competition track thing. So like, I don't know. I want something different. Like I remember playing like Test Drive Off-Road. Like I want a game that's all off-road that isn't like, was it Dust or whatever? I don't like that game at all. It's just, I don't know, like, you get off-road games, but they're usually pretty bad. And then they'll throw off-road in games like Forza, they'll throw it in there. But at the same time, the cars that you're getting in that game that people want to get, those aren't off-road vehicles usually. So like they don't really, it's just, I don't know. It's like I'm not getting a good mixture the way I would want it. I want a really good off-road racing game. And I haven't had one in freaking forever. So it's just, I don't know. That's just what I'm kind of looking for. But for the most part, co-op. I want more story-based co-op games that aren't, versus the generic, let's just focus on gameplay and, screw the story.
Gotcha. Well, that was right to the point. Terry wants the co-op up in here.
To add to Terry's point, that's a big reason why I go to Xbox, because a lot of their franchises have co-op. I can play co-op Forza, co-op Gears, co-op Halo, co-op Elder Scrolls, all kinds of stuff. So to me, co-op is a big piece too.
Yeah.
And crossplay.
This is an Xbox show, but I could easily walk across the boardroom and over to Sony's headquarters and give them a long list of stuff that I think they need to start focusing on too, because there's only so many over-the-shoulder third-person action adventure games that I can put up with, and to some degree, thank God over there too. It seems like they're not just content on making The Last of Us or Uncharted, because at least we know that they seem to have walked away from that a bit and they want to do different things. Doesn't mean that those franchises don't continue or come back, possibly, but they may come back as a different variation of themselves or come back under another studio. Like there's talks that there is maybe another Uncharted, but it could be with a different character. It could be by a different studio, all that sort of stuff. So if I'm walking into the Xbox right now, there's a couple things I would love to see. And again, these are just the wish list sort of stuff, but I want them to get more aggressive, right? I want them to get a little more aggressive with some of their marketing and stuff like that as well. Be a little more present. It just seems like, and shoot me as you will, because I'm sure the gun's already targeted. But there's a little too much about Game Pass and not enough about the games. Okay, if that makes any sense, it's too much about the delivery method of how you're getting games and how you're saving money on your games, and not about the games themselves. I'm still a firm believer that I don't think. And think it's still a big mistake that Microsoft put their biggest titles in day and date. Like day one, I know that was to help sell the service. That was their key factor. I still think it's a mistake. I think they should and could have been waiting like 6 or 7 months and then pop them down, so they could have maximized the investment. And then when the games start to cool a little bit, then you pop them in. So then people riding the fence. You're going to win either which way. And I don't think people would be like dropping the service just because a game is not in there day one. But you could have kind of double dipped a little bit, because other companies don't mind doing it. And that is make maximum sales, physical, digital. And then as soon as, like I said, that game starts to kind of slow a little bit, you remarket it, pop it in there, boom, there you go. You got your game and everybody's kind of happy. But look, I get why they're doing it.
PC helps solve that.
Yeah.
With sales,
to break it to you, they make a shitload of sales even on big games to drop in Game
Pass.
Yeah. So
look at Hi-Fi Rush, all the sales, and that's in Game Pass. 2, you get 20% off any game you want. Everything is not in there permanently. So even if I love Halo Infinite and I've been having it on Game Pass, if I want to quote unquote support the developers, I can do it for 20% less and still do that money. So
okay, that's fine. Again, this is just me theoretically speaking. Right now, I'd say this would be perfect for Game Pass, and it's something that Xbox doesn't have a lot of. Obviously, we talked about the kind of gamers that play Xbox these days, the people that generate the biggest revenue, and it doesn't tend to be a lot of us hardcore guys. That's why the Series S is also the most popular, because it's the cheapest. It gets into more entry-level homes. It's kind of a no-brainer. But one of the big games that right now that keeps continuing to float Nintendo's boat is an old game that's been around for a while. As a matter of fact, it really is old, because it came out on the Wii U, and then it got remade for the Switch and has become one of their biggest selling games of all time. I'm referring to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's right. It's not a brand new game. It wasn't built from the ground up and came out for the Switch. It was actually a port that was made better. They kept adding content. And guess what? It's starting to look like we might never see Mario Kart 9, because they're just adding content through their online pass now for people. And I think this is a perfect area where Microsoft, the writing is on the wall, especially with this many studios. These guys should have a game like that of their own Mario Kart game that can stand on those shoulders. They've got so many characters they can draw from so many things, and it's a perfect game to put in there. You just make one great game and there's lots of companies out there who can do really good kart racers. Nintendo isn't the only one. Nintendo is just the most popular one, but there's been other ones. Like even the team behind it was Sumo Digital made the ones for Sega with the Sonic Kart games, which were pretty damn good. And then of course, if Activision comes under the fold, there's a crowd that been making the Crash Team Racing games, which are pretty damn good.
Well, to be fair, Noof, like I hear you on that, but let's say they kind of are doing that. They're just doing it their own way, right? Look at Sea of Thieves, not my game, but I don't think we're going to see Sea of Thieves 2 anytime soon, or Minecraft.
No,
right?
I don't think so. Yeah, they need to bring a kart racer in, and they can use like characters like Master Chief and Marcus and Conker and Banjo, and you could have everything in there in that gaming space, and then just keep adding content to it, right? Again,
but remember, what works for Nintendo may not work for Microsoft. Nintendo's its own beast.
But you can't ignore that audience. There are lots of people that are multi-console owners that have a Nintendo and they have an Xbox and perhaps spend more time on Xbox and would like to see some of that sort of come over. And the reason Nintendo's
been selling you outdated technology since Jump, and nobody's
there's that.
There's no way Microsoft can do that.
But why is
K Asante, is this the first show we've been on together? We need to do more shows together, man. you and me,
I call it the abacus known as the Switch.
Right.
No, get out of here with that.
Well, you got fans asking for games, at least certain fans. I mean, like, why aren't you bringing back Banjo? Why isn't Conker back? Why is any of these guys back? There's a certain segregated part of the market that would love to see these games. So what? You came out, you tried Lucky's Tale, and it didn't light the world on fire. So now what? That's kind of it.
It seems like the folks that I know, I've heard a few folks specifically ask Microsoft. Like I know somebody who asked Phil Spencer about Banjo-Kazooie, and the reason is their studios don't want to do it. Like the people who made it before are just like, we're over it. We want to do something else. And until they can find someone who is willing to take it on and do it, they don't want to push people, which I half think is good. But I also agree with you, Noof, that they deserve a bit of that smoke because your customer wants it. So maybe find somebody else to do it. I do hear you on that for sure.
You got to give customers, at the end of the day, you got to give customers what they want. Yeah. And you got to remember that a large part of this industry is still being run by nostalgia.
But you can't make developers work on it that don't want to work on it because
you make a studio to do it. I mean, I'm so sick of that crap too. You bring in a fucking studio to do this shit, like the Coalition to do fucking Gears, and then that's what they get signed on is to do Gears, and then all of a sudden they go, "I'm not doing Gears." What the fuck did you sign on? Sorry, my language is getting off here, but you're starting to agitate me. Okay, they fucking make these people to make these cocksucking games. Go fucking make the game, or fucking go leave and go work at Walmart. You son of a bitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exactly. Dude, but the thing is, you may want Conker.
Gears are right. I'll come down to Redmond myself and I'll strangle some fucking prick down there.
You may want Conker and stuff, but they may not be able to find enough people that want to work on a game like that anymore. They want to work on the newer games, the better games.
I feel like a game like Conker, the political climate we have today with political correctness, that game would not survive today. It would get torn apart.
I can agree with that point. Yeah.
That's why I'm not excited. They're bringing back Bully. I'm not excited for it because I know that they're going to.
Yeah, I don't know that Bully's going to last.
They're going to make it very politically correct. You already know.
And specifically from Microsoft, which is a very PR heavy company, they're already known as the big evil empire. They have to walk softly. Why do you think High on Life set the world on fire and they just kind of walked to the side? Because it was a little bit too risque for them.
I'm sorry, I'm going off the rails. Got a little bit heated because I do care about some of these franchises. I probably care a little bit too much.
No, you have every right to care about them. You have every right to care about them, and like I said, you have every right to give them the smoke because you're a customer and you love these things, and you're not getting them. Me, I want Jet Set Radio Future. I've been waving the flag for years. Can't get it. Don't seem that anyone will even ever. So what do? The
writing's on the rise for writing on the wall for Rise, and why nobody has financed a second game. Nobody can make that. I mean, people obviously want it because I think the first game had plenty of promise. It may not have hit all the right marks, but like that's what I hate about this game industry now. Is like is so quick to give up on something because you didn't sell 10 million copies out the gate. And I freaking hate that, because at the end of the day, do you have a good product or not? If you listen to the fans closely, as they say they listen to fans, well, I'm seeing an awful lot more love for games like Rise than I saw hate for it. Yeah, I saw some people kind of overly trash the game because it had quick-timey shit. But if that was the biggest problem you have with the game, I mean, look at the game. It came out in 2013, and it still looks better than 90% of the games on the market today. That is absolutely nuts. That tells you whoever put that shit together, they know how to build and make graphics.
Crytek is amazing. Crytek is amazing.
Unbelievable.
Crytek owns the IP.
Well, Crytek needs to get off that shit and sell it. Somebody needs to make another one.
Microsoft can say, I want it tomorrow, and they can throw the bag. But if Crytek says, nah, we're moving on, unfortunately, there goes Rise, Son of Rome. You know, I would love one too. Like, it is, you're right. It, to this day, it is benchmark for graphics, even right now. But unfortunately, you know, and I guess that is a complaint you can leverage at Microsoft. Back in those days, they could have taken those IPs, but in order to get those developers to make games for Xbox when nobody wanted to, they let them keep the IPs. Hence, no Rise 2. Hence, no most of the Remedy games come
Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive. They own the IPs. Right, that is the smoke you can give them, because you know, now if you want to make a part 2, they go Microsoft. You make a whole lot of money. We want more money. You know,
you brought up Sea of Thieves, right? And while I love the fact that they tried something new, they got this great new IP, and they've been supporting it. That in itself rots the shit out of me, because it's like, I don't know, like Rare used to be the icon of the industry. They were the Naughty Dog before Naughty Dog. They, you know what I mean? Like, they were the it factor. And now it feels like you got fans asking them to make games they want nothing to do with. They can seem to be just content to roll out, you know, here's a new pink flag for my ship.
But look at that. That is a problem with the actual dev houses. And it seems that Microsoft is kind of, if there is any smoke to be levied at them, I would say that's where we need to focus it, because they let them, and that's great, because you don't want to force anybody to do anything. That's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, a lot of their studios are exactly the same way. Look at Minecraft. We saw Minecraft ray tracing come out before the Xbox came out. Amazing new world. Have you seen that on the Xbox yet? No. And will they ever do it? When they decide to do it, they will do it. Microsoft will not push them to, you know, the thing that you expect, that you hear that Sony does, they turn the butter, they make sure it releases on time, and they have their ninjas that come out and they fix it. Microsoft
on time.
You know, that's what they do most of the time. well, I'm talking about before pandemic.
Thank you for backing me here, though, Axel, on that.
Well, K Asante, you can't be right all the time, you know, but that's okay.
I think that somebody understands what I was going for with Axel chiming in with this comment, because, again, that's like, you know, people obviously, you're getting paid to do a certain job. It doesn't really matter what the job is. I get it from a creative standpoint. Things can get stagnant, okay? And that's where a lot of times directors and your main studio heads leave. But at the end of the day, if you're a graphic designer, you're paid to make graphics. What does it really matter what kind of graphics you're actually making, technically speaking? Or if
as
you
long
just
as it's
get
in your
tired
style.
of it, go move to another studio. If you're just tired of it, well, you know what? You hand your resignation, you go move somewhere else, which you see in the industry all the time. But you're paid to make a product. You're paid to make a product you hope gets return on investment. I hate this picking and choosing shit. Who are you to pick and choose? These guys pay your salaries. These are the reason your asses are in the seats. And most important, we are the reason you're getting paid to begin with.
A lot of it maybe they can't find somebody who wants to lead that and produce that. That's the issue.
Right? There's got to be fans out. There's got to be someone that says, man, I would love to do this. Just like there's people that be chomping at the bit to make Halo. Like, oh my God, I got a chance to work on one of the most iconic franchises in fucking history. I'd be signing up.
While I agree with you, we also bemoan the time back in the day when they used to like have really crappy, like phoned in ports of IP. Remember? Because those were the paycheck days, right? You want people to be excited about what they're working on. So it's a double. I'm sorry, Terry, go ahead.
I was going to say, how about this, Newf? How about we convince Rare to sell the IP to Ubisoft? And then Ubisoft gets the team.
We'll never see it.
No. Listen, let me finish. And then Ubisoft gets the team that made the South Park games, Make Your Conquer.
The South Park game is made by a Microsoft team now.
Obsidian, right?
Well, the last one was published by Ubisoft or whoever the team. True. So whoever the team is that Ubisoft got to make, you know, the Fractured Butthole, you know, have that team I don't know if Ubisoft has that team or if that team is just freelancing. But get that team.
It was Obsidian. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
Obsidian did it, and it was published by Ubi. So they would actually.
All right, so then there you go. Obsidian. So Obsidian would not be opposed to doing something a little bit more, risque. Since they did South Park, have them do it.
Yeah, they are now associated with Microsoft, though.
And two, what I would say. This would be a old head argument as well. The more we talk about what they need to remake, the less new fresh IPs the same people say they want to see. I mean, where do you do it? Let's do some more, bring back this and bring back that, or bring back these fresh new IPs that I want to see. So you kind of put yourself in the middle, especially with this large company trying to give the fans what they want. They have to kind of choose some direction. Are we trying to bring in new IPs? Are we trying to do the cinematic third person overhead, but then go, oh, come bring back Conquer, and then you go, we don't want to see these kid cartoony games. It's like you're going to be in a catch-22. And then
I was going to say, and Newf, remember, it's not like they don't do marketing research on this stuff to see where it lies. They have guys, they pay big money for that.
That's why I was saying earlier, I want to see the 12-month thing, because you know what you're getting, you know what's going on, and you don't have this. Where's this? Where's that? Because you know what? Every year we talk about where's this, where's that, and they possibly could be doing it. They're just not bringing it out because guess what?
Quick note from I don't mean to cut you off, Mr. Scrub Nurse. A quick note from Mr. Joanna Dark in the chat, great member of the community who tends to know certain things. He's like, there's rumors that they were working on a studio called The Vault to focus on old IPs. Oh yeah,
that's a great name for a studio.
Cool. That would be so cool, and a great name for a studio. Cool. Yes,
The Vault.
Yes. And I think they should do that definitely, because there's a lot of stuff that they could be doing that we just don't know about, because what was the last 2 years crying about? Quit announcing stuff that ain't gonna come in the next 4 or 5 years. So it's like, they could be building a Conquer one right now. Not saying they are, but they're not going to tell you because everybody yelled at them for, we done showed Fable for the last or Hellblade for the last 4 years and it still ain't come out. So you're never going to get people happy, especially gamers, because the second you give them one thing, they're going to cry about why they don't have this. So
they could be pulling like a Kingdom Hearts where they need over 15 years to make one game.
I just need 2 games to make me happy right now. Just give me a Hellblade 2 and then give me a great Gear 6. That's it.
I would like, I don't know who owns the rights to it since Visceral's gone, but I'm still waiting on that Dante's Inferno sequel that we were promised that we never got. Just putting that out there. Whoever owns that property, I'm saying.
We're reaching the 2-hour part of the show here. Scrub, do you have to take off right away here, or?
Yeah, y'all can go as long as y'all want to, but I do have to take off for work. So I appreciate everybody coming out, all the good people in the chat. I think it was good conversation. We had some laughs, we had some heat. It was good. I appreciate K Asante coming, hanging out with us. If everybody just hit the like button, share it out. If you enjoyed the folks on the replays, we love everybody that's on the replays. I know there's a lot of people that can't make stuff live, especially with the 50 million shows and TVs and video games that are going on, but we appreciate you coming check us out. So you can find me on Twitter at ScrubNurse3. You can find all my little links and whatever down here below, and then also in my Twitter. So my Twitch is Scrub_Nurse. You can find me on Xbox at Scrub_Nurse. And I'm playing different games. A lot of them involve guns and shooting, but that's just kind of what I do. But I do play other stuff as well. So I will see you guys on the next one. Have a safe Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody just make sure me working in the hospital and dealing with what I do and organs and transplantation, there's a lot of things happening on a Super Bowl Sunday. Drunk drive and depression.
Make smart decisions. Make smart decisions.
Please be safe. Please be safe. That's all I ask. Please be safe. I don't want to see anybody in my job, but especially I don't want to see anybody that I personally know. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, y'all have a good day, and I'll check y'all later.
Well, enjoy your Sunday, Scrubs. For those of you who want to check out Scrubs out, make sure you catch all the links below. Catch them up with Wilmy Hood later on tonight. Like I said, on Gaming Beyond the Box.
Nope. No Gaming Beyond the Box tonight because
right. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah. Yes, I think you just said that. But any which way, you can catch them out there on Sundays after this show, except for tonight. Hope you have a good Super Bowl Sunday, Scrub. Thanks for being here, and to all the amazing chat right now. You guys are amazing. Fastback still here. Jago Kukan has graces with his presence. We've got Splendiferous in the building. Mr. Joanna Dark, good to see you here, my friend. Thanks for the support. Mr. Timmy is here. Pixel Bit G is in the building. What's happening? Ice Queen Gaming still hanging out with us. Mr. Gene. Freddie Fox is getting a good kick out of my my off-kilter rant. First time in probably years, I think I went off I lost a gasket, especially on this show. I normally keep it pretty tame, but every once in a while you just got to get that out of your system. You know, it's like a build-up fart. Every once in a while, it's just good to let it go, right?
It's early morning. Wake people up. It's good.
That's right.
Wake them up. Come on, let's go.
Before I got it now.
Indeed.
Banging on the table. Yes. All right. But great comments all around from everybody. Obviously, we all have different expectations or different things, and some of us may not expect much at all, and that's totally fine. That is totally fine. Either which way. At the end of the day, like I said, you know, they're bringing out content for our enjoyment. So, you know,
I'll tell you what. By my not expecting much, I don't get as reared up as you do. It's like, you know,
no, that's
no
true.
expectations is easier in the heart, man.
Easier on the heart.
And we got a super chat coming in from Splendiferous. Go ahead, Mr. Axel.
Yeah, Splendiferous drops $2 in the super chat. He says, "You guys have a weird guest this morning. He's like me."
So you're weird?
Wow.
Weird.
So you're weird, dude?
Appreciate you, Splen. Thanks.
Oh, my God.
At least he's picking on you this morning and not picking on me. So, yeah.
Dreadpool shows PG.
This is a PG show. PG as in pretty gangsta.
No doubt. Last topic, and this should be a short one. Obviously, with lots of the UFO alien talk going around and stuff like that, I thought we'd have a bit of fun with this one, and we just basically talk about our favorite alien, whether it's in a movie, a game, a TV show, stuff like that. I want to find out from everybody, because I know there's a lot of alien games out there. You know, everything from Alien Isolations to Aliens Fire Team. Plus, there's that little, what was that game with the little green guy? What was it called? The little alien.
Destroy all humans.
Destroy all humans.
It was an awesome game.
You know,
He wasn't green.
A ton. Yeah, he wasn't really green. He was kind of a pale.
He was like a bluish gray.
Bluish gray.
He was supposed to represent like the Greys.
Yeah,
the Greys.
The Greys.
Let's start with, how about you, CerebralPaul? Whoever wants to jump in and go first. Tell me about your favorite alien-based game or alien movie. It can be a bit of both. I'd love to hear from everybody.
I'll go first.
Go ahead, Axel.
I'll go first here. My favorite alien movie of all time is Aliens. James Cameron, masterpiece. That is, you know, when Hicks goes, "Game over, man, game over," all the way to the design, to how awesome it was, the shooting, the dread in it all, the big trash can queen or trash bag queen. It was amazing. I've watched more documentaries on that movie than anything else. My favorite alien game, where you play an alien, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, my favorite
alien or you're shooting aliens. One of your.
Well, I mean, that's easy. That's Halo. I'm trying to get away from that. Let me think. Let's come back around to you while I think this over about game. I don't know why I wanted to go first. I just wanted to talk about aliens.
I'll go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
For me, for film, I'm gonna go with Predator. Predator's badass.
Yeah.
Predator's badass.
Yeah.
And,
have you seen the latest one? Amazing. Oh my God.
No.
You have to see the latest. Oh, it's the best in the series. I have to say, it's so good. You have to see it. It's so good.
And I feel, you know, and like he's, I don't know. I feel like they're not fully showing his power, for like the Predator species. They're not fully showing their true power. But you know, Predator's amazing. And then when it comes to gaming, I would have to say I have to go with Mass Effect. They have some amazing alien species, and my favorite one would be the Quarians. I think it's just like when you actually take the time to think about it, like they have like the most like messed up like origin, with losing their planet, and their whole life is like basically in a biosuit. Like that's insane. It's just. And the fact that they're able to persevere and survive, and not let that stop them, like it's great. So the Quarians are, inspirational, to not let that kind of stuff stop you from, trying to continue on. So yeah, they're pretty cool.
Awesome. Thanks. Let's go back to Axel since he says he has his best alien game now.
Okay. My favorite alien game probably has to be StarCraft 2: Heart of the Swarm, where you play as obviously the Swarm and the Queen of Blades. It's a classic RTS. I love playing as the Zerg. Who I play when I play multiplayer. I lose, but I still play as them because they really. StarCraft is one of those keybind games. You got to be real good at the keybinds. But that's probably story wise, gameplay wise. That's my game. Cutscene wise, it's amazing.
Very nice. Very nice. Great picks so far. Let's get down to we'll leave our guest for last year. CerebralPaul.
I don't know. Let's see. Favorite alien movie. I mean, I like a lot of I like Alien.
Yeah.
I like Aliens. They're different. They're different styles. Alien was more true horror, and Aliens was more adventure.
Action.
Action. Yeah. But my favorite alien of all time has to be Marvin the Martian, but I don't know where he plays into this. But
no, that's good. That's what we wanted. Yeah.
That's an old Sega Genesis game, I think, where you play as Marvin the Martian, isn't there?
Was there? Yeah, they need to. I'd like to see some of those come back because he's just fun, So, but game wise, I'd have to go with. I like the Mass Effect aliens; were very well done. I gotta say. And if you've never played Alien Isolation, that game is freaky deaky, man. That'll keep you on the edge of your seat.
Very, very nice. Very nice. Yep. Sean in the chat, mine's Mork and Mindy. Oh my God, that brings back.
There you go.
Yeah, that's great.
Good old Robin Williams. Yep. Oh my God, that really brings back memories. That's ages ago. Jago, I'm still pissed they ripped my Blade Bishop in half all these years in.
That's what got him his start and what made it cool to watch a guy on coke do stuff every week. So, you know.
Nice. I mean, it seems like a lot of the games we have these days, too, like features some aliens of some sort. It's kind of weird. Like, it's a lot more than we probably even think, but, the ones that really stand out to us. How about you, K Asante? Favorite alien game, movie, etc.? Both?
Okay, so I'll give you both. Movies, I'm a movie guy, so I'll give you two. Avatar, believe it or not, I love the way they visualize, the way they bring that to life. Amazing. Way of Water, absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you have to go see that. And Arrival, for those who haven't seen that movie. Like, you don't even get to see the alien in full-fledged, but just the ideas around them and it is such an atmosphere building thing. It's just so good. Arrival, also really, really good alien-based game. Now, movie. Now, I'll do a little bit of recency bias on the game front. Metroid Prime Remastered. I got back into Metroid Prime. As I have been clowning, I will not play it on the Abacus. So I have been dumping it and playing it on the Steam Deck, and it's beautiful and it's great. And I remember how much I love Metroid Prime, and it's fantastic. That and XCOM, any XCOM, I love XCOM.
Yeah, baby,
XCOM is a load of fun. Yeah.
So those are mine.
Great.
So hold on, you will not play Metroid Prime Remake on the Switch, but you'll play it on the emulator.
Because it runs better on the emulator than the Switch.
I see.
60 frames, can't promise that even on the native hardware. That's why. Literally, that's why. It just runs better on the deck. Yeah.
Best landfill game, yes, E.T. Oh man, that's hilarious. Man, but E.T. is great though, because he's one of the most iconic aliens. I mean, that's my childhood in a nutshell. It was like one of the first times I ever kind of seen an alien and sort of in film or movies. It was E.T. It was that was a big part of my childhood for sure.
How old were you when you watched it? But it was
I can't remember. I wasn't very old. When did E.T. come out?
I'm trying to decide when to introduce it to my kids.
84, I think, is when it came
83, 84. Okay. So yeah, I wasn't probably about 7 years old, something like that back then.
Okay. Because they've dumbed it down a lot now, right? You can't even find the original Alien, like where they were holding guns. Now they're holding like flashlights. And
no, I thought they went back and they changed that back.
Oh, they did. They did go back. Okay, great. I'm trying to see when it'd be good to introduce that to my kids because I know it gets scary. So I'm like, I do want to introduce them to Alien. I don't know if it's double digit, 10 years or lower. I have to rewatch that.
Well, like I said, a shout out from the rooftops when Terry gave her pick because it was exactly my pick as well. To me, nothing was more iconic. It had my favorite actor from the 80s, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that's that great movie, just a great action movie in itself. But that Predator, boy, and that, like the first time watching that and with the ghost special effects, that movie was such an iconic movie. It's still one of Arnold's best. It was just the way they did the whole suspense. It starts out like it's going to be your typical action Arnold film. And then you slowly get to see this alien, and it's just the mystery and the cloaking and stuff. And you're like, man, this guy is badass. He's just hunting him down, and he knows what he's doing, right? It was just awesome. And some of the great lines on Jesse Ventura, Carl Weathers. I mean, my God, that's a load of action right there.
I loved how he would take like the voice recordings of them and use it in such like creepy ways. Like, man.
Yeah, Bill Duke. Oh my God, like that was awesome. When he freaks out and he panics, he gets up with the big gun and he's like, I'm going to have me some fun.
Yep.
And,
I was actually friends with Richard Chavez, the guy who played the guy who got the tree trunk toward the end.
Poncho or whatever, is it?
Poncho, yeah. I was friends with him. Yeah.
That's a little known fact we didn't know. That's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, and wasn't he the one of the actors went on to direct one of the Predator movies afterwards, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it was Chavez. He's kind of
no, probably somebody else. No, but that was great. It was just awesome, and like there's so many aspects of movies, so really good. But it's just a really good like alien. Just how he's just hunting us, and you just do it for fun and the trophies and all this. But yeah, iconic, absolutely iconic. One of my other close favorites, I would say, from a movie aspect, I really like The Thing. The original is amazing, and I even like the remake. I thought the remake I kind of like the remake for the simple fact that the special effects, obviously, being a newer movie, were so well done. Was it a remake or a sequel? I don't even know what you want to call it.
I think it's treated as a sequel more than a remake because they kind of make note of the original finding back in 1950, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, the original Prey game was really cool. Even the newer people like the new one, but I like the first Prey game was really good. As far as games,
the OG Prey was amazing.
OG Prey 360.
It's lost to time. I love that game. Absolutely. Yeah, I wish we could bring it back somehow, but the new one kind of overshadowed it.
I thought you could play the original Prey on Game Pass.
Is it?
I think so.
I'm not talking about the one that has the Bethesda
not the Moon Prey. No, not the Moon Prey. I know
the Native American Prey, like he's sitting at a bar and then he gets that's the one that with the weird the weird doors. I think people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah, it was a big game for the 360 when it came out in the early years.
Awesome game.
Yeah. So there was that, and but I'd say overall, I'm going to give the edge to Alien Isolation. Of course, it's a bit more of a recent game, but I think the reason I'm going to say Alien Isolation, and Paul brought it up, is just because it was so well done. It was so how they captured the movie, but also sort of would almost capture, I would think, like the real feeling you would have if you were in that environment with an alien creature that was menacing, terrifying, and he's stalking you through these hollow rooms of this vessel. Like I could only imagine like how like you'd be shitting your pants over and over again. Like literally, like I can't even imagine what that would be like in a real world scenario. So I think that's why I give it that edge to that game because it brings it home. Another fun movie I liked as well was Starship Troopers.
I love Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. I know the aliens had a lot of personality, but it was just such a cool movie.
If fascism was sexy,
They had a really good PC game too.
Yeah,
It was a first-person shooter. It was really good.
The sequels are pretty much miserable. I hated them, but the first movie was just an instant classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you like to know more, Newf?
It had Michael Ironside in it, Sam Fisher himself, right? I mean, every movie that man's in, he's just like, you just got to watch it. You know what I mean? So cool. Yeah, but anyway, that any further thoughts from the chat or anybody? Everybody's saying Alien Isolation is great. It's just the atmosphere is so well done in that game, so many great games out there that do feature aliens or shooting aliens. Like Axel said, you could go with Halo. I mean, from a movie franchise, Star Wars has some of the most original alien species you've ever seen. Well done too. The makeup of some of those things. So it's all really cool. Some alien movies are really boring, like it's just typical. I really like Species when it first came out too. I thought that was awesome, and not to mention Natasha Henstridge. Oh my lord, whoo, hot dang. And then again, when you start making sequels for the sake of just making money and not making a good film, that's when it always goes downhill, right?
Yeah.
Start getting tacky. The story starts to fall apart, and you're just like, yeah, you should just kill it now, guys. Kill it while it's good. But yeah, awesome. But anyway, that kind of brings us to the end of the show, unless anybody else has anything to add.
I have a really quick thing to add real quick, since, this is an Xbox show. Xbox has been having their RPG sale, so make sure you jump on it. The sale is actually ending tomorrow. They have about 60-some games that are on sale right now. Some of them are up to 85% off. And I just want to mention that Mass Effect Legendary Edition is on sale for $15.
Wow.
So jump on it. If you haven't been able to get all of the stuff in Assassin's Creed, that bundle is it's what is it, like 48? It's normally $160 if you want to buy all the games if you don't have them. So get that Far Cry bundle as well, as like $55. That's another like $150-some worth of games right there. And then if you for some reason still haven't played, the Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor game, that game is like $5. So don't get it.
Game.
And then Shadows Awakening is part of that sale, and that was one of my indie spotlights. So I gotta remind everybody who had thought about getting it and the price wasn't right. Well, now it's on sale. So no more excuses. Go play it.
Awesome. Well, fantastic podcast once again.
If we're talking PSAs, one last thing. If we're talking PSAs, for those who aren't aware, and I advocate, as I was talking with Paul here, I advocate for being able to see behind the curtain a little bit. Double Fine released one of the greatest documentaries they have in recent years, all on their YouTube channel. Amazing. I think it's like 30 episodes or something. Like, it's just awesome. And it shows the whole process of development for Psychonauts 2, including during the pandemic. Like, they go hard, they go deep, the emotions, the whole thing. It's free. Watch it. Like, their last documentary was just like Emmy-worthy stuff. Totally go watch it.
Double Fine is an amazing studio. I will always support Double Fine after what they did
amazing
to bring accessibility to the forefront.
Yeah, Double Fine's great. And that Psychonauts 2, people, if you still haven't played that game yet, please do yourself a favor and buy it, because it's just incredible. It was a worthwhile sequel to the old game. In every which way, it's better. And that's what you want from a sequel. So go support that great game.
For those of you going, hey, where are the games? Why? The COVID was an excuse. Watch that documentary. You will see the nitty gritty of what happened during that time frame. It's crazy. You should watch it. It's very good. Very, very good.
Definitely love that game. I love the studio, Tim Schafer and company, genius people. Just very, very original, right? Very original. Got to applaud that. Not afraid to go for the jugular, and all that good stuff. See, there's that's a perfect example too. Like a little game that kind of came out under the radar when it came out for the PlayStation, the original Xbox, and it had this kind of like a cult following, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like people were shouting from the rooftops, we want Psychonauts 2. But there was enough noise. So somebody listened, and then somebody finally said, we're going to crowdfund this game or do whatever it was they did, and then they got it off the ground.
Part of that was because it was Tim Schafer's baby. He's been working on this game forever,
right?
So,
but you gotta love that
game to come out.
That those are games created out of real passion, because that's what they want to do. They want to make it happen, and then it comes out and it's just an amazing game. And again, they're games that should get way more love and attention, in my personal opinion, than they get. But they always get overshadowed by stuff, or they get dismissed because Psychonauts has that, that graphic art style that people go, oh, the graphics are crap. No, the graphics are meant to look a certain way. It's a stylized game, and I think the graphics are fantastic.
The graphics are far from crap in that game. So far from crap.
But the uneducated crowd, that's what they look at, right? Because they just look a certain way. But they are amazing graphics. It's the way they're meant to be done. They're meant to be sort of an abstract-y, weird, meant to look like it came out of some weird minds, which is essentially what half the game is.
If you've ever seen an interview with Tim, it is a very weird mind that they came out of.
Indeed, he's a different individual. There's no doubt about that. So yes, go check that out from K Asante. Go check out that show. But let's let everybody get out of here. We will start with our incredible guest who honored us with his presence today, and we hope that he will come back in the future and not be a part of a new roof explodes episode. But thanks for being here, K Asante. We really enjoyed you. As I said, you did not disappoint because every podcast you're on, you're very articulated, very smart, and definitely a great person to have in these gaming streets, and we appreciate you. And thanks for taking time out of your day to spend it with us.
Oh, no, I appreciate the invite. This was great. You know, as I said, you guys are part of my morning ritual. So I'm about to go over there and continue my morning ritual with the rest of the shows and stuff. But hey, I'm happy to be here for a Newf blow up because that's monumental. It'll be probably clipped on the street somewhere on Twitter. It'll be great.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. It's good. Never change, Newf. That's exactly what we need. This is perfect. You know, no, this is great having you guys. Having me on here on Sunday. I really enjoyed it. Usually you can catch me on my show, Gaming Circle Podcast, GCP, on Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk games. You know, we invite some community members over. Hopefully sooner rather than later, we'll have some of you folks join us as well. I would love to send some invites out to have folks come talk games with us on it's kind of tough because it's a Saturday morning and I kind of feel bad getting people out of bed early, but we'll send the invites out. You could be honest with me and say no, it's too early.
Okay, Pong and Steel Rain do a pretty good job of getting people out of bed on Saturday morning.
Exactly. You know, and you know, so I appreciate folks coming to check us out. Actually, we had the folks from We Bleed Green on yesterday. Dirt Griggity, nice. He was out there being slanderous in the morning, which I appreciate. So yes, check us out. TKO Asante on Xbox, PlayStation, all those places you want to find me, and you follow me, I'll follow you back, and always continue these wonderful gaming conversations. So thank you guys once again, and I look forward to coming back. It's good.
Definitely have you in the future. CerebralPaul, let people know where they can catch up with you next, and of course, check out all the links down below for the YouTube channel, social media, and more.
You can find me at Twitter at CerebralPaul1, Twitch at CerebralPaul. You can find me here on Sunday mornings. Later, you'll be able to find me on the Flamin' Experience today. And then Tuesday, you can find me on, Retro Renegades. Wednesday, I'm the new permanent panel member of the Backdoor Bastards. I mean, the Backlog Bastards.
Backdoor.
There's a
and on Thursdays, of course, 4GQ TV, where we do interviews. Just recently did an interview with the writer, director, producer of Scare Package and Scare Package 2.
Nice.
And I did an interview just recently with a country music up-and-comer named Grayson Rogers, who's also a streamer on Twitch. And I'll be getting that up in the next few days. So.
Fabulous. Busy man, CerebralPaul, and still managed to finish Hogwarts Legacy in the process. Good man.
38
Axel.
hours.
Axel, this is your last week, I think, before you had a little vacation time.
So I will not be here next week or the week after that, as I will be flying out on Sunday and flying in on Sunday. So I will not be here for 2 weeks. So, yeah, guys, I am the host of the Iconic Video Games Podcast, where we just talk about video games, no consoles, no services, just the games we love playing, that we have played, that we look forward to playing. We do have our own flavor of comedy. Some people might call it cringe comedy, but whatever, it makes me laugh. So, and of course, sometimes, we have some drama, like we did this last week, where there was a shooting, and you can see me diving off my chair. So if you ever want to see that one, you should have tuned in. With that one, Newf, you can find me over at my channel, Axel1324 Gaming.
There you go. Check them out. Great little show. And CoolcatTerri, yes, when she's not playing games and hanging out with us freaks, she is often under the hood of her BMW and doing some car stuff. So let them know where they can check you out.
All right, everybody. Yes, you can go ahead and you can check out my secondary YouTube channel, Coolcat's Alley. It's all automotive media. I'm currently working on my project car, which is my BMW Z3. You can go ahead and check that out. And then otherwise, my CoolcatTerri, I do have that YouTube. It's just like right here. I do have some gaming content on there, and I have my podcast, Just a Glimpse, over there. You can go ahead and listen to those old clips if you'd like. Otherwise, go find me over on Twitter, Coolcat_Terri, if you want to see more stuff for like indie games that you might not know about. You can check that out. And then my Instagram, CoolcatTerri, like you say here, for more IRL stuff.
Nice. By the way, I love the shirts and the hats. CoolcatTerri and Axel looking dapper this morning and supporting that Xbox swag. I love it. And of course, K Asante coming here with these old school
man.
gets.
Old school. It is what it is.
The first mega selling game of all time, right? Super Mario 3. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
That's a game that never goes out of style. Still as good today as it was back when it came out.
I'm still pimping it on to my children right now. They're going to be playing. This is what we play. I love this game.
Super Mario 3. Yep. That was an NES Solar. That was that moved consoles back then. Let me tell you. All right, and you guys know where to find me. Always in the gutter. Know when I'm not hanging out here with these fine folks. You can catch me streaming on Tuesday nights. Got a couple more hours I think left to go in Ratchet and Clank. People have been coming out and supporting my stream. Great to see that. It's fantastic. Over on my YouTube channel as well, and just back here. And I do believe, like I said, later on today, Flamish has took the risk of asking me to come on his podcast, The Flamish Experience. I think that's coming up here in like an hour or two or something like that.
Yeah, 2 hours or so. Yeah,
it's coming up here this afternoon. So he's invited me to come over there and hang out with these guys, including Paul, apparently. So that's awesome.
Oh God, I'm gonna get sick. I mean, I feel a headache coming on.
That's right. You better take your Advil right now, my friend.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. But other than that, we'll be back here again next week. We'll miss Axel for a couple, but like I said, hopefully we'll bring in some guests. I do believe Dreadpool has been lined up for a while. We got to get Brother Dread back on the show, and maybe Doggy Dog wants to pop on. He's always in the chat, so we should bring Doggy Dog back on the Good Morning Xbox and get his take as well. Like I said, if anybody ever wants to be a guest on this show, by all means, send me a message in the DMs, and we'll try our best to get you on here sooner than later. And
send Noof a message, and my Cash App is. Oh wait, no,
that's right. His PayPal is open. Yes. Yes. All right. So anyway, great show again. Thanks, K Asante. You're fantastic, and we'll see you all again very soon. Game on, everybody. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.